I know. I'm charging something. Oh, my word. Look at this, babe. Beers galore, Hunter.
I have more. More in the car.
We're having a big party tonight.
Oh, yeah? Big Corona party?
We said we might need to use your Mophie.
Oh, that's fine.
She has a Mophie charger for your iPhone.
Oh, how about
What
that?
iPhone do you have, babe?
Sorry.
Yeah, I got an S. It's fine, though. I got to plug it right now.
station back in your ears. You got 30 seconds.
Okay.
Perfect.
So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The radio home of Carson Wentz, Carter Hart, and Joel Embiid. 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ-HD, Millville, Atlantic City. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN. Now, live inside the Matt Black Kia Studios, here's Mike Gill.
All right, we are live on the Friday edition of the Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN. Mike Gill, Hunter Brody riding shotgun again. We're the only 2 healthy people left.
In the world?
I don't know, but I just had a huge Curb Your Enthusiasm moment on the way here today.
That is lovely.
No, on my way here, I live here, but I had to run to the office for something. I needed to pick up a cord that we were lacking for yesterday's show for the people to watch us on the Sports Talk with Broads YouTube channel. We're live on there. But so I stopped at a local place. Okay, I don't want to give them away really, but so this place, there's no sign of coronavirus happening.
Like you would have no clue that this was going on if you walk into just that place. You'd think it was a normal day.
It was Grand Central Station. Cars in and out, all over the place. The parking lot was outrageous. Then I walked. Now, the only reason I went there is because I needed propane for my propane tank.
Okay.
So I actually felt kind of like I was in the wrong for doing what I was doing, but I was like, I need the propane. If we're going to be doing shows from my porch for the foreseeable future, it was cold yesterday in the 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, it got a little nippy out.
Yeah, so I do have a heater on my porch that runs on propane. So I was like, I got to get the propane tank if we're going to be doing shows out here on the porch for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's an essential.
Right? I mean, this is like a commercial grade heat thrower.
It's a beautiful item.
It's unbelievable. So I was like, I got to get the propane, and I'll run in and out. I pull in, and I'm like, this parking lot is outrageously full. Like, gas was like a premium, by the way. This place has gas, too.
Okay.
So now you're narrowing down what places it could be.
Yes,
and it wasn't Wawa, I'll tell you that. So I go inside, and this place has a counter and people waiting for food. Like, I'm like, there's 15 people in this place waiting for chicken.
Now we're getting to it. I mean, I think you pretty much gave it away at this point.
So there's all these people waiting for chicken, plus a line of people at the register. Well, I walk in, and I see the lady over there. She's behind a bunch of stools because they're not letting you pour your own coffee. Right? You can't pour your own coffee. You can't get your own drinks. They have a lady back there serving. So if you want to get like a Sprite in the fountain, she's got to get it for you. So I walk up to her. I say, "Excuse me, ma'am. If I want to exchange my propane tank, what do I need to do?" "Oh, come with me." There's a line of like 15 people waiting at the register, and then the other one's open. She brings me right to the front of the line.
That's lovely.
And I just kind of gave that look around like, these people are probably pissed.
You shrug the shoulders, you give the, the Larry David.
Sorry. So she tells me, hey, I pay. And then she says, someone will be with you out front in a minute. I said, okay. So I walked out front. And I'm standing out front. And there's a woman there. She's trying to get a selfie taken with the big chicken out front of this place. You ever see the chicken out front of this place?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She's trying to take a selfie with it. And I'm like, this is kind of uncomfortable.
Sure.
So what does she do to me?
She's going to ask you to take a picture, isn't she?
She asked me to take the selfie.
So you're going to touch that coronavirus phone.
No.
Not saying she has it, but everything is on the table at this point.
Yeah.
She wanted you to touch the phone?
Excuse me. You mind taking a picture for me? And I was like, And it was at that moment that the lady from the inside says, "Are you waiting for the propane tank?" And I was like,
That's great, man.
Sorry.
It's great.
Sorry.
I
No
love
good
it.
for you. So I got my propane tank and walked to my car as I heard, won't.
That is fantastic.
The poor lady standing there with the phone in her hand.
as
Hey,
it's-
I need you to take my picture.
As the camera zooms out,
Yeah,
right?
and I'm
that's
just walking
amazing.
my car with the propane tank in my hand.
That's
After
perfect.
everybody inside is already yelling at me because I went to the front of the line. Why did they let me at the front of the line with the propane tank register? I don't understand.
Well, maybe because it's like I'm trying to think if you buy ice, they don't let you just skip ahead, right? You got to wait in line to go to the front and then you buy your ice.
There was a good 10 people in that line. I mean, that line was wrapping around, and there was only one register open.
No, I mean, that place had to have been packed based off
It was
of
mobbed.
other places not being open, though, right? I mean, if other places are shutting down, now it makes sense that it's mobbed.
It was packed.
I mean, yeah, you seemed baffled by it.
I couldn't believe it. I walked inside, and I was like, does anybody know we're, like, basically in a shutdown situation here? Like, I was only getting...
Maybe they needed propane.
Nobody got the propane, only me.
But maybe they needed chicken, essentials, food. I mean, they got to get some grub in them, no?
Yeah, you never know. All right, well, what do we got on tap today? So, football at 4 is coming up with Johnny Mac. By the way, 5 o'clock tonight, my buddy Anthony Becht, who former NFL first-round pick, played with the Jets, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He now does the Buccaneers pre- and post-game show. He's going to join us at 5 o'clock to talk about the impact of Tom Brady playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. By the way, Hall of Famer right now is my girlfriend Heidi, who, as we started this show, she just walked in with, how many cases of beer are over there?
I see
What'd you
3. I see 3.
Yeah, I'm just like 8.
8. Wow.
Hunter said 3,
Wow.
and she
Well,
said
it's-
no.
Well,
8.
from the angle, we got a lot of stuff going on here, but
She is restocking the fridges. The porch fridges are individually being restocked.
Well, she's a smart woman. I mean, you got to go out there and get it done.
Those are just one by one. Those cans are being placed in there. My buddy texted me today, and he said, "Hey, are you still doing the show from the porch today?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Are you allowed to have fans come over and just sit on the couch and drink beer while you're doing
That
the
would
show?"
be
And I
imagine.
said, "As long as you're 6 to 8 feet away from us."
Well, look back here. There's so much room. We could have stadium seating.
Yeah.
So they would just, I mean, we'd turn the table around maybe, but we'd give them a show.
You know what we could do? We could invite listeners over. I have a football, see the passing game back there?
Absolutely.
The net with the 3 holes. We can invite people over to throw the football in there and, maybe give away prizes. We have our basketball court going. We could have, a dunk contest.
Hold on. Whoa, time out. The point of all of this happening is so nobody is close together and
No,
with
I mean,
each
but look
other.
where we are. We're screened in up here.
Sure, for
Let
the
them
time.
out there and
Oh,
do
okay.
whatever
So,
they want.
yeah. We don't care what they do.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. By the way, so Brady signs. Did you see the deal?
Yes. So I thought it was a little hefty, but I mean, the point I was making was $50 million guaranteed for a 43-year-old.
I'm 43.
It's obnoxious.
Yeah, and I had this conversation with you yesterday. At 43, I can still compete. I just don't have it in me to keep up.
Right.
And
Which
I'm
is a
not
huge
saying I'm
part
Tom
of this.
Brady, but I'm also not getting paid $50 million.
So if you were getting $50 million to play in your men's league, you're telling me you'd probably perform better than you do?
Well, I probably would be more focused on keeping myself more in shape to do so, but I'm just saying the skills just aren't there. He is not a $50 million player. Now, the question I'll have for Anthony Becht at 5 o'clock tonight, Tampa's a small town. It's not a big city, Tampa. Now, the surrounding area, Tampa Bay, St. Pete's, Clearwater, okay, it's a decent size, but it's not a big market. What is the impact of Brady coming to Tampa Bay going to do for that market? I'm interested.
Well, I think we already saw all sorts of numbers about season tickets. The season tickets were going through the roof because everyone was so excited. So it's clearly making a huge impact.
Right, and that's the question. Is it a $50 million impact?
Are you saying, are the Buccaneers, the team, or the city getting a return in investment? I think both are.
Yeah, what kind of impact financially is Tom Brady playing for because McMullen's been on here a lot saying, look, 43, you don't bring him in there because, like, a lot of people talked about you bring him in to energize your fan base, sell tickets, but also the other economic expenditures that come with that. And is Brady exciting the fan base that much? Are you that excited for Tom Brady playing for your team that you're going to go hog wild buying jerseys, tickets, memorabilia? Are the Tampa Bay Bucks now like the only game in town down there?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Lightning are pretty
Tampa
good.
Bay Lightning are really good, and they actually do pack the barn pretty well down there. So they care about the Lightning as well.
Kid, do they? I've been to that barn a few times.
You been to the barn?
Yeah.
No, you don't. Well, yeah. No, listen. The
St. Pete Times Forum. Now I think it's called the Amway Center.
Yeah. But when it comes to the Buccaneers,
she's on fridge number 2, by the way.
I see that.
That first fridge is stocked.
Is there a third fridge? I mean, at some point we're going to run out. Oh, the main fridge. Okay.
Yeah, these are the 2 outside fridges.
Right. Man, you guys are going. Do you guys need food?
Nah.
Okay.
Food's out.
Well, getting back to Tampa Bay, I mean, I think you nailed it with more of a business thing than a winning thing. Do you think the Buccaneers are that worried about ownership? Are they that worried about winning, or is this a strictly financial move?
That's the question that I'm kind of maybe dancing around. Is his impact surely economical?
I would think.
Or do you make the signing of him for $50 million because you want to win a Super Bowl, or do you make a signing of $50 million because of the economic impact that he brings? That is what I'm saying. Like, which one of those makes more sense? I'll sign you for $50 million, and I don't care that we win. I know I'm going to make that back because what you will do to our community. Or I'm paying you $50 million because I expect Tom Brady to lead us to a Super Bowl within the 2 years that he's here. Which one is more probable?
The first one is more probable, but it bleeds into the second. I don't think the conversation is you better win us a Super Bowl in these 2 years. It's originally, this is going to make me money. But at the same time, it gives them a better opportunity to win than it did with Jameis Winston. You're talking about one of the best quarterbacks, I mean, you can argue the best quarterback ever in the history of football. So with the financial reasons of doing it might come that Super Bowl as well, but it's not demanding. It's not Tom Brady, you better win us a Super Bowl, or I am pissed off with this investment.
I would hope that that's his thinking. Like, I hope if I'm not Malcolm Glazer, the owner, that I'm saying, this $50 million better bring us a Super Bowl.
There's no way. There's no way.
But I feel like that's what they're thinking.
No way, because I've actually looked into this a little bit, and owners would rather be, like, an owner would rather have success for 10 straight years, and when I say success, I mean just a playoff game. Mm-hmm. They would rather just make the playoffs every year and lose in the wild card game than stink for 9 years and win one Super Bowl. Because one brings you more money than the other. You'd rather be in 10-6 and be a little above average than be a championship team and actually be awful the rest of the seasons. Because at the end of the day, it is all about the money. These owners care about the money. There are owners that like winning too, but what's more important to them, it's making money, and that's why they're in the position that they're in. So if you're telling me they could be a 3-win team for 9 straight years, and then that 10th year they win the Super Bowl, they would rather be a 10 and 11-win team and never win a Super Bowl because you have the fans more invested. You have more people going to the games. You have TV deals that are more popping. You get that one playoff game that brings you extra revenue. So at that point, you would think money is more of what they really want than good football.
Yes and no. I mean, look, they want to make money, they want to kill it, they want to be, we always have that. Which organizations are in it to win Super Bowls and which ones are in it to make money? We always have. Like, there's a lot of times that people thought that Jeffrey Lurie just wanted to make money. He would go right up to the salary cap. They had that era where they underpaid a lot of guys. Like Brian Westbrook wanted the new contract, and it was like, well, they had the strategy of signing guys for under market value before they got really good. And then 2 years into the deal, they would be like, well, I've outperformed this deal. That was constantly happening during the Andy Reid era. And it was like Lurie was constantly getting criticized that he wouldn't spend the necessary money to get him over the top to win the Super Bowl, that he just wanted to make money. And of course, they won the Super Bowl and they spent some money and they're always active and yada, yada, yada. But what does Lurie want to do? Does he want to win Super Bowls or does he want to make money? And they always want to make money first, right? So that's why this deal with Tom Brady seems like this is a money-making deal for the Buccaneers, which if you're a fan of the Buccaneers, then aren't you mad saying that our owner essentially is saying, We don't care if we win the Super Bowl. He's just trying to make money.
No, because it will result in a better chance as well. That's why I think it goes hand in hand. It's not just this. If he was awful, and I mean awful, if they signed an awful player because he's popular, which I don't even know how that would even happen. But just say they signed someone who's bad at football but popular, then I would be more disgusted. But you have a guy who has won so many Super Bowls, who is better than Jameis Winston, even though he is 43, and he puts your team in a better position on top of it being a financial move. So you can't be upset about that. You would only be upset if this makes you more money as an owner, but you're putting the franchise in a worse spot.
True, yes. I mean, and I heard Mosher, I think, talking about this during Mosher and Eitan today, which was if Tom Brady last year on the Patriots had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and O.J. Howard and that offense, would Patriots have struggled as much as they did offensively? The answer is probably no. But how much of... I think we're about to find out how much culture wins. You know what I mean?
Well, do you think instantly that culture, like Tom Brady's presence, is going to change up whatever Jameis Winston had as a leader in that locker room? But is it going to be such an insane switch to the point where we're talking a team that can make a run in the playoffs? Like, that's why this is so intriguing. I don't think any of us know.
Right.
The first time we see him running out of the tunnel in that uniform,
it looks so weird.
Oh, it's going to be so weird.
So weird.
But we all don't know.
It's not even like Montana. I mean, he was there for 20 years.
That's crazy. I know. And winning. And that's the craziest part. So we have some news here, by the way. Everson Griffin is leaving the Vikings.
Oh, that's pretty big news, actually.
Yeah, no, I know.
Where's he going?
Well, I think he's just, his agent spoke out and said, we decided to now focus our attention on free agency.
Okay.
Now, is that a move you think Howie would go after?
I think we brought this up to John a couple of weeks ago. We'll have to revisit it because, John used to cover the Vikings.
Right.
So he's pretty close with Vikings people out there. So there is some news, by the way. Jason Lockton-Ford reporting the Broncos are signing Melvin Gordon. Now, you brought him up yesterday for the Eagles, and now Todd Gurley has signed with the Falcons.
Yeah, did you see
both of those guys are off the table.
Did you see the breakdown? I think he's getting paid like $6 million with the Falcons, but he's still making $5 million with the Rams. So together, he'd make $11 million throughout the year.
Well, Gordon gets 2 years, $16 million, 13.5 guaranteed. So he's getting $8 million a year over the 2 years, which is not like these running backs. Josh sent us something last night. I don't know if you saw this. That of the running backs drafted in Gurley's draft class, 22 of them, I think the number was, not one of them is still on the team.
And that just shows that just shows you the value of the running back position. And the way Moshe said it today on Eitan and Moshe was, it's not worth paying that much money if you have Miles Sanders because you're not going to be getting a good enough percentage of the snaps. Like, if you're going to be a second or third running back after Miles Sanders, well, there would be no reason to bring in a Melvin Gordon. There would be no reason to bring in a Todd Gurley and spend that much money on a one-year deal if he's not going to be getting any carries or not a decent amount of carries. So from the Eagles' perspective, it didn't really make much to target any of these guys. But it is interesting to think about, what if Corey Clement doesn't get picked up? Because he's an unrestricted free agent right now.
Yeah.
What if he doesn't get picked up? Do you give him another shot? He's been underwhelming the last 2 years. What do you do in that third running back role?
Draft.
Okay.
The draft is coming up.
Darnell Pumphrey?
is he still? He was in the AAF.
Yes, he was.
Was he in the XFL?
I don't know. We'd have to ask Colin Thompson about it. Maybe they were teammates.
I don't know that you're gonna. I mean, I mentioned Devonta Freeman yesterday. I was gonna say I don't know that you're gonna go out and spend real money on a secondary running back.
No, I don't think
I think they like Boston Scott.
And I think they should like Boston Scott. But can he do the same thing he did last year? Again, we saw Corey Clement have a phenomenal season when they won the Super Bowl. He was not the same. Now, injuries played a factor. But do we assume Boston Scott can just do the same thing again? I mean, he was great in the screen game. I mean, he was shifty, small guy. He would run in between the tackles.
Yeah,
no
but you know what? See him. Now you have a whole offseason to create an offensive package for him.
But at the same time, there's film on him for other teams to now be able to look at what he does best. Maybe that also affects it.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, but I think that advantage Eagles here. I have a full offseason with this guy. Now I know what I want to try to do with him.
Well, last year they weren't very creative. So I mean,
well, they weren't very creative. They didn't have many creative pieces to work with.
fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they
I still
got
think it was
forced into
dry.
using some of those guys.
Yeah, by
So
the end.
now it's like, hey, all offseason, you're like, I got this guy, Scott. Look what he did last year with limited offensive creativity. All offseason long now, I'm putting in a playbook with plays designed with him in mind. You didn't have last year.
Right, and he's not costing you a lot, and that's a huge factor.
Well, and I thought Mosher and Eitan brought up an interesting point about the money that they have spent on the running back position over the last couple of years. Like, they got Ajayi, he was on a rookie deal. The guys that they keep bringing in here, are on low money rookie deals. They are not repeating. The Eagles are not going to pay a running back.
No.
Like, the second LaShawn McCoy had a chance to make money, they got up and traded him. They do not want to pay running back. I mean, that's just the way the Eagles think. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. I mean, Miles Sanders is going to be a guy who's probably here for 4 years, and then that's it.
That's the interesting one, because I normally agree that you don't pay these running backs money. But what happens when Miles Sanders is now up and ready to go and ready to get a contract? You drafted this guy in the second round. It's not like you have the option. I mean, technically you do have the option. But to just let him walk after drafting him in the second round because, hey, we can find another running back, I don't think that's the way to go. If he's going to be playing the way he has been playing, I think at some point you might have to pay a running back. Now, it's not going to be Ezekiel Elliott type money, but at some point you might have to pay Miles Sanders something significant. They can't let him walk. If he's still in the uprise.
You get into that scenario where, like they are with Gurley. Like, they paid him, and now he's slowed down.
But what? So you tell me you draft this guy in the second round. He has 3 great years, and then you're just gonna, all right?
Yeah,
I'd be shocked.
we'll be having this conversation 2 years from now, and you're going to be like, they're probably going to get rid of Miles Sanders.
You know what? Situationally, I might be okay with it. I would have to see what's going down at that specific time. But right now, it's just crazy to think, here's a second-round guy, you keep him for 3 years, all right, there goes.
Well, look at the thing that Josh sent me last night. 22
Right.
running backs in that. When did Gurley get drafted? What year was that?
I'll have to look it up.
I mean,
I don't know.
you're looking at not too long ago.
No, it wasn't long ago. No.
And
2015.
2015. So
5
here we
years
are,
ago.
5 years ago.
Well, that's
Not
just,
one guy is there on the team anymore. Not one running back from that draft class is on the same team.
okay, but I would have to look through the 2016, 2017 draft. Well, that's closer to now, but 2014 draft. I don't know. I mean, maybe there are
Why?
some guys. I just want to compare it to another year. Because sure, that did happen here, and I know that the numbers are going to be high.
Well, I'm
not
you
saying
right now,
it's not going to be high.
in the
It is.
2015 draft, at running back, you had Gurley, Melvin Gordon. They were in the first round. In the second round, you had T.J. Yeldon.
But don't you agree that at some point you can't value the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th rounds because any position
Okay, but I
more
can
than
go.
likely.
I can go through the first 2 rounds.
First 2 rounds, I think, is reasonable.
Okay.
But 3, 4, 5, and 6, most of those players aren't on the team anyway. Because
No, but running back, though, is a spot where you get a guy in the 3rd and 4th round. Don't pay him a lot of money. You know what I mean?
I guess not the Eagles with Pumphrey.
Tevin Coleman, Duke Johnson. I mean, Duke Johnson, I feel like
He's been bounced around.
David Johnson, he's another one. David Johnson was a 3rd-round pick. Now he's gone. Matt Jones, man, he played for the Eagles a little while back, but he was a 3rd-round pick, Matt Jones, with the Redskins.
So what's your argument right now? That the value of the running back is just not a thing?
Shot.
Yeah, but it is. I guess it's hard to imagine the Eagles just saying, all right, Miles Sanders, thanks for everything, after they spent a high draft pick on him. But listen, we could be wrong. What if he turns into like a legit stud? Like he's a legit stud by the time his
let me ask
contract's
you
done.
this. If you were a Dallas Cowboy fan,
Yes.
now I'm sorry that I have to put you in this role.
Yeah.
If you were a Dallas Cowboys fan, would you have been advocating giving the money they did to Ezekiel Elliott?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. It's easy to pretend because you're not a Cowboys fan, like, oh, they're so
I like
dumb.
your objectivity
I
here.
can't believe they did this. You have Zeke, and as much as we're talking about not valuing the running back position, Zeke wins you football games. Like, Zeke is one of those running backs that takes over football games. If you see how successful he is when he gets 20-something carries and he's running for close to 200 yards, he will win you football games single-handedly. You can't just walk away from that because the position is, starting to become nothing. But you can't, would you literally let Zeke walk? I mean, be honest with yourself. You can't. And then this kind of relates to the conversation of being an owner. Jerry Jones, this guy sells tickets. This guy sells jerseys. This guy sells everything. He's in
what
commercials.
about Derrick Henry?
What about
You're
him?
the Titans. Would you have been paying him you got a franchise tag?
I mean, he wouldn't get anything nearly close to what Zeke would get. I don't
He
put
was
him
better
in that
than
level.
Zeke.
Situationally, not because of his overall
situationally
talent.
for that team, they were in the AFC Championship.
Well, they
game.
made a bet.
Zeke Elliott was sitting his fat ass on the playoff bus watching on television.
Well, they messed up paying Ryan Tannehill all that money. Let's start there. I mean, situationally, even though they got to that game, you can't be spending that much money on Ryan Tannehill. You got to find a new way. No?
Yeah, I don't think Tannehill's this great franchise quarterback, but the question is he the player that you want him to be because Derrick Henry's with him?
So you're saying it might
Is
work.
he all you need to be because you have Derrick Henry? But Derrick Henry was a second-round pick.
Right.
So, look at Miles Sanders. Like, if Sanders gets to where Henry is, Henry just got the franchise tag. So the Eagles going to pay the franchise tag to Miles Sanders?
It would get sticky. I mean, it gets messy when you start doing that. Players start holding out. They're unhappy. And we've seen it happen a bunch of times. It even happened to Melvin Gordon. I mean, he botched that whole situation. He sat out. He comes back.
Well,
He's
God
not even...
bless him that he thought he was worth more than he was. I mean,
Well, he might have actually been. That's the thing, but no one wants to pay him. And I guess this kind of brings the conversation back. It's where they're so not valued when you have a guy like Zeke, when you have a guy like Derrick Henry. You compare it to someone like Todd Gurley, who was elite and fell off so quickly. What do you do when you have that guy? And I think some points you take a risk, sometimes you don't. It just depends on the type of guy. You put me in the GM spot, I am paying Zeke every single day of the week because I take a shot on that.
Yeah.
If I fail, then I fail. That's on me.
All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, brought to you by your Delaware Valley Acura dealers. This month, visit your local dealer for great deals on award-winning Acura lineup. So my neighbor yesterday was like, his wife was outside, and he was like, "You guys doing the radio show over here?" I was like, "For the foreseeable future." Great.
Oh, he gave you one of those?
Well, it's like I can hear us doing the show. Like,
Well, I mean,
we're out here
what do
yelling at
you
each
got to
other.
pay the bills.
I hope so.
Well, unless he pays your bills, it's a different story.
No, they like it. You know, his daughter was over here shooting hoops over on our basket earlier, so we're having a good time. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. We got a lot of NFL free agency news to get into. More signings continue to happen. Keep it locked here. Jameis Winston, is he close to locking up a deal and where he could be heading? Who's going to quarterback the Patriots? We still haven't figured that one out. All that more, plus Anthony Becht, former NFL first-round pick tonight at 5 o'clock, and Johnny Mac's got football at 4. It's all right here on the Sports Bash Live. Oh, by the way, we got special guest host coming in with us in the second half of the show tonight. We'll give you the details on the other side, 97.3 ESPN, the free mobile app.
Tonight, Westwood One presents great games in NCAA tournament history. The 2018 first-round matchup between UMBC and Virginia. The first and only time a 16 seed defeated a number 1. Hey, how are you, folks? This is Jason Horowitz of Westwood One. Join me as we listen back to the full game broadcast and hear from some of the players and coaches that were a part of that March Madness moment. Right here.
Exclusively on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Coverage begins at
It was funny. I was
8
thinking about
p.m.
this on the drive.
Spring is just around the corner. You can almost feel it, but you don't have to wait.
Friday night
Because
party,
at
the
Matt
guys
Black
all
Kia,
out
you
of
simply
money.
can't make a mistake with a new 2020 Kia and our 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Matt Black Kia is the #1 selling Kia dealer in New Jersey, according to KMA 2019 reporting, and 2 convenient locations. We want your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. When you purchase a 2020 V6 Sorrento and pocket 3,500 Kia Motors cash back, or pay 0% APR financing for 66 months, 2020 Optima EX models, and get you $3,000 Kia Motors cash back, or 0% financing for 66 months. And remember, if you have a job clearing $400 per week, Matt Black Kia in Egg Harbor Township and Toms River want to get you approved.
It's gotta be a at Black Kia.
0% APR based on 1515 per 1,000 borrowed through KNF on approved credit. All offers plus tax. Offers can't be combined. Negative equity refinanced and new loan. Dial 888-703-6459 or go to mattblackkianj.com for complete details. Expires 4/3/2020. Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
It's Wing Madness at the one, the only Piccalilli Inn in Shamam. Stop by today for an order of South Jersey's best wing and let them know which sauce is your favorite. While you're at the Piccalilli, register to win a pair of Phillies sports tickets.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. And we'll give you this barbershop quartet who'll sing the name of the perfect hire.
Vince Lundy.
Vince Lundy.
Vince Lundy. Vince Lundy.
Okay, there's no quartet. But skill tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
Credit Karma can help you make financial progress by giving you free scores, reports, and monitoring. But Credit Karma does not give you the love that only a mother can. It's just an app. But you can use Credit Karma to help you improve your credit. But it cannot solve the eternal questions surrounding human condition.
Oh, come on, I need answers.
But signing up is free. No credit card needed. Just download the Credit Karma app now.
Oh, there's my answer.
How funny
Credit
is
Karma. Here's the problem.
Yeah, so Aiden's coffee spot is really undope. They asked what they can get me, and I'm like, the code to the bathroom. Stop trying to sell me something.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Also, the Wi-Fi password was too hard to spell, and I can like totally spell stuff.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
They didn't have any cups out for the free cream, so I just drank it out of the pitcher.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Hey, it's Mike Gill from the Sports Bash. Head over to PlaySugarHouse.com to play real money casino games from the comfort of your home. At PlaySugarHouse.com, you'll find table games that you can play online right on the site. Blackjack, roulette, and more. Right on your phone, real money. You can also make your bet with live dealers. Visit PlaySugarHouse.com and have fun. Must be 21 or older. Playable in New Jersey. Only gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Credit products are issued by WebBank member FDIC. Rates and terms vary based on credit history. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Offer valid for loan products 90 days after today. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
How do I feel?
Awesome.
Like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
Hundreds of thousands of people are discovering the relief of a fixed-rate debt consolidation loan through Avant.
I paid off all my credit cards. And now I just have one easy payment. I don't have to worry about the rates going up.
Avant offers you access to unsecured debt consolidation loans from $2,000 to $35,000.
I doubt you're really happy to hear me.
When I saw Avant was accredited by the Better Business Bureau, I knew that was the company for me.
Do you know how good it feels to only worry about one monthly payment?
Experience the relief of a debt consolidation loan through Avant. Plus, get a free $50 Amazon gift card after your first payment is made on time. To check your loan options and get this free offer, go to Avant.com and enter code 9797 when applied. Avant.com, code 9797. That's Avant.com, code 9797.
Sweet and salty bars from Nature Valley are a perfect combination of sweet and salt. So take a moment for yourself out here. You deserve every laugh. Nature Valley Sweet and Salty Bars, now available in minis.
So Joey Chestnut is minus 1050 to win the Nathan's hot dog eating contest on July 4th. That might be our next live sporting event.
Well, I mean, it's a lock. It's a lock. That's money right there. I mean, that just tells me.
Minus 1050.
Who's going to win?
I couldn't name another competitor, but Chestnut is about as sure a bet you're getting at that event. But think about it. If July 4th is the next sporting event we have.
That would be a little depressing.
Very.
You know what's funny? I was thinking, I can't wait to tweet this out one day when everything comes back and society gets back to normal. Hopefully that will be one day soon. Hopefully. But there's going to be...
It was today at the place I was.
Yeah. There's going to be a day where everything's back. The Sixers play... Say the Sixers play Monday, Flyers play Tuesday, Wednesday the Sixers play, and then Thursday there's no game. How am I going to handle myself? There's no game.
Phillies will be on.
Well, there's no game. Well, maybe they have a day off. It's a Thursday. Maybe,
true,
right?
true.
It's like, oh, what am I going to do with myself?
Thursday, though.
As if we go 6 months without it, and then that one day where I don't have a game.
Well, think about this. What are you going to do if they all come back? And, like, okay, the betting odds are, will the next NBA game be played June 1st or sooner? It's plus 350, yes. Minus 600, no.
It's no. I mean, will they count that charity game that they were talking about playing?
No, the big three.
The Big Three what?
The Big Three league is talking about playing a quarantined, like, bunch of games.
I didn't.
Three.
I thought Adam Silver actually came out and said something about the NBA.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that would count, or do they mean like legitimate NBA scheduled games? I don't know if that...
Yeah, no, this would be... Would the next NBA game be played June 1st? This one is, would the next NHL game be played June 1st or sooner? For odd reasons, minus 500, no. It sounds like they've been listening to the Sports Bash, because I've been saying I think the NHL will be the first one to try to come back.
I thought so, too, until there was the first positive testing. Now I feel like they have to go through a different, I don't know, a different schedule based off of someone actually being positive. Because let's be real, he's probably not the only one positive.
Right. I mean, yes, there was a, by the way, a press release that was sent out yesterday. The Sixers, 3 Sixers.
Organization, right? In the organization, not players.
They didn't say, it could be 3 players, it could be 3 members of the organization, it could be a mixture, but 3 Sixers.
Yeah, wow. And I was at that game where Woods on the other side had it. They played against the Sixers. I was there. It was the last game that was on that Wednesday night.
Right.
And it's scary to think about.
As soon as Woods got it was when everybody was like, the 2 Jazz had it, and then they played the Pistons, and then when the Pistons played the Sixers, that was when, like, okay.
Well, they tested the Raptors, who also played the Jazz. No one had it. Mm-hmm. Boston played the Jazz 2 times within a stretch. Marcus Smart has it.
Yeah.
2 Lakers have it. It's gotten...
Yeah, they're up to like 10 in the NBA.
I would think even more. It seems like more, but maybe it is around 10. But it does seem like more at this point. And only more is going to keep continuing to come out. And that is the very scary thing about this.
For Brooklyn Nets, too.
Yep, Kevin Durant being one of them.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, and the odds for this, and I'm only bringing this up because I found it interesting that they had the odds that basketball would be the last to come back. NHL and baseball were the same. June 1st or sooner, plus 300 yes, minus 500 no. The next MLS game, June 1st, minus 250 no, plus 175.
See, now that gives me that tells me, and I'm just basing this off the lines, that the MLS has the best chance of coming back. Even though the NHL and MLB have similar odds, their odds are not in the favor of actually being back before June.
No, but why would that? And that's why would MLS seemingly have a better shot at coming back?
I mean, they clearly know something we don't.
Right? I mean, like,
when they make
why
these
would
odds,
the MLS be like, you know what, we think we can get back sooner than everybody else?
Does it have something to do with soccer being played without fans already? And I don't know. I really have no clue. Well, I think there's still a Mexican soccer league that's still going on, unless they shut that down. I know about 3 days ago, it was still going off. So I don't know if that has something to do with just the way soccer is being handled as an individual sport.
Well, soccer, except for football, I mean, you got more people out on the field at one time than you do baseball and,
okay, so Mexican soccer's all postponed, but it was one of the latest ones, too. I mean, they were literally still playing soccer games Sunday, March 15th. That was, what, Sunday? Was that this? Yeah, they were playing.
Will the U.S. government force UFC to cancel events by June 30th? That's even money, yes, and minus 140, no. And will UFC 249 occur April 18th in Brooklyn? Plus 160, yes, minus 225, no. Now, Dana White has vowed that 249 is happening through hell or high water. It might not be in Brooklyn, but he's saying 249 is happening. April 18th is a month from what, yesterday?
Let me tell you this. What if he has money on it will not happen, so he's coming out to the media saying, it's going to happen, so that people start betting.
Conspiracy
theories.
Yes,
he is involved in this bet financially. I wouldn't put it past him.
I don't think yeah, I mean, he couldn't put the bet down himself. But
well, you got friends who's got friends who's got friends.
These are the kind of random things that can happen. But he is saying, he has vowed that 249 is happening through hell or high water. That no matter what, that event is happening. And
I don't know how it could. I don't know how it could. Because this goes past your individual organization. San Francisco just shut down California. I don't know if it was California or just San Francisco, the Bay Area, but they are shutting down everything. There's someone over UFC who can make a decision that will shut them down. It's not like they have last say and they can do whatever they wanted. If Dana White could do whatever he wanted to do, then I would totally be for that. But there's someone who actually has more power that can shut everything down. So I would have to say it will not happen. Because who is he to allow his organization to do it when everything else is shutting down?
Well, because he doesn't care.
Well, there is a higher power, though. There is a higher power that can shut it down. No?
Yes, but what did Dana White say? That he talked to the president, and the president said, live your life.
Well, I don't think that's good enough. I say a lot of things, and guess what? It doesn't work out that way. I talked to my girlfriend one day. She says it's okay. The next day, it's not. I don't know what to do anymore.
But guess what? Your girlfriend's not the president of the United States.
She's the president of this, apparently.
True, but if the president chimes in and says, hey, go ahead and have the fights, live your life, what higher power is...
Could the state of New York...
Well, yes, Josh, what is the deal with 18, with the 249 on the 18th?
Well, okay, so first of all, Hunter, you're right. There is a higher power than the president in this situation. It's called the State Athletic Commission.
Thankfully.
And this is where they're going to be where April 18th comes in. Right now, Vegas in Nevada is on a probationary ban of any event until the end of this month. So April 18th obviously is after this month.
Yeah.
So right now, there's 2 locations that are looking to have this pay-per-view. It's either going to be in Vegas at the UFC's version of the Performance Center that the WWE has in Orlando. UFC has their own version in Vegas. Or there are Indian reservations that are not under the federal government bans with these quarantines in Oklahoma have facilities they could have it at.
So you can have a fight in Oklahoma?
Well, like, for example, there are reservations that have Indian reservations that are not
so could you do
under
this?
the same umbrella as the federal government rules and regulations.
Let me ask you this, and excuse me for my ignorance on this. Is the Hard Rock Atlantic City considered an Indian run? Because don't the Indian...
No, it's not, because it's not on Indian land.
Is it raining out, by the way?
I don't know, but it kind of feels nice out here.
So, because it's not, but there are Hard Rocks that are on Indian reservations, correct?
Yes, I think one of them is actually in Indiana, and one is in Florida.
Right, the one in Seminole, Florida, I believe, is... That's why I was wondering, because like the ownership group are part of the Indian reservations, are they not?
See here, there's one in Florida, the Seminole you just mentioned. That is correct. That is on Indian land.
Okay, so because theoretically they could host a UFC event if they wanted to,
or WWE if they wanted to. Yes.
Now, did WWE shut down because they?
No.
Well, they've been.
No, they're still doing shows, man, at the Performance Center, Orlando. I've been watching.
Crowd. Josh bought last night.
I'm out on it.
Last night, Josh bought 3 T-shirts on shopwwe.com because it was 40% off.
Wow. See, here's the thing: if WWE was back in the day, it would be so much fun to watch.
This is even better though because you get to just pull the curtain back.
No, this is just not even.
Why? What do you?
This is awesome.
What do you mean they're pulling the curtain back?
They're showing you like behind the scenes, like what would happen if there wasn't a crowd at some of these events.
Yeah, but there's no emotional tie. Like we're talking about Rock, we're talking about Stone Cold, we're talking about like these guys.
Stone Cold had 316 Day on Monday. Him and Becky Lynch were pounding beers.
Yeah, okay, all right. Now I'm intrigued. Now you got me.
I didn't watch the other night, but The Undertaker came out. I can't imagine what The Undertaker's entrance looked like with no fans.
He still did the whole thing, man.
Especially in they have the Performance Center in Orlando at Full Sail University. It's only like a 500-seat arena. So this arena is tiny. It's just like, think of, man, like being in like the Adrian Phillips ballroom doing a WWE event. It's tiny.
It definitely is.
There. And they're doing WrestleMania in that place. Actually, this news just
doing a great job, Mike. They're really doing a great job.
I've turned on the channel a handful of times over the last couple of days to see it. It's kind of awkward to watch though. When the music plays and they come out and they're doing they're looking to the crowd and there's no crowd, but they're still going through like their routines. It's quite fascinating.
I'm sure it is fascinating, but I just think back in the day what WWE could do then compared to now, and some of that has to do with society. I think it was just such a better product.
Well, the product is now a PG.
Yes, exactly.
Back then it was
more of a rated
PG-13.
R.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
rated
was
R.
a
And that
little
made it more entertaining, though, you know?
The rated R superstar was there last Friday.
McMullen just tweeted this out, by the way, 20 minutes ago. WWE and ESPN are teaming up to air previous WrestleManias on Sundays over the next 3 weeks. March 22nd, it's WrestleMania 30. That's when Lesnar stops Undertaker's streak. March 29th, it is WrestleMania 32, which was Roman Reigns against Triple H. And April 7th at 3 o'clock, it's WrestleMania 35, Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair.
And when is this?
The next 3 Sundays on ESPN.
Next 3 Sundays.
All right.
I mean, ESPN
Maybe I'll
is
tune
saying
in.
we got nothing to air.
I know.
Why don't we put on old WrestleManias?
And they should have went even farther back, though. Isn't that kind of recent stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Well,
go.
guess what? You got plenty of time.
Yeah, you're right. Let's find them on Reddit.
Guess what? ESPN's going to be having Tuesday Night Raw. They're going to be airing the old Monday Night Raws from the Attitude Era.
They should just play nonstop iconic games. I mean, just nonstop. The NFL, by the way, and I think the NHL did this as well. You get Sunday ticket for free. You know what I'm going to do? I was literally thinking about doing this for Sports Talk with Bros on YouTube just because it's such a dead time in sports. I'm going to watch the Eagles season. We're going to start with Game 1. We're going to talk about Game 1. Then we're going to watch Game 2. We're going to talk about Game 2.
Well, I did see that NFL is giving free...
I watched the Eagles-Redskins this morning with my coffee before I came down here.
Jeez.
What do you mean, jeez? There's nothing on. What do you mean? You're watching WWE with no fans and you're giving me jeez?
Look, I am not bashing WWE viewers.
I'm not either.
I used to be a hardcore guy myself. I just don't have the time right now to do it. I can't fit it in my schedule as much anymore.
I'm sorry, what? There's nothing going on. Oh, you mean like before all this happened? Oh, okay. Well, listen, by the way, there's no commercials in this NFL Sunday ticket. I mean, it is just beautiful luxury to play. It's great. You've done the football game in 2 hours.
Sports Bash live on my porch here in Atlantic County, 97.3 ESPN. Mike and Broads. I do want to mention that Ryan is feeling better.
That's good news.
Yeah, he's feeling better. Now, he hasn't been sick for a few days, but unfortunately, my girlfriend won't let him here. He's quarantined from my house.
Listen, I love Ryan to death. I really do. I would be a little nervous being around him.
Yeah, he's being sick at an inopportune time was unfortunate for him.
But it wasn't just like a, hey, I don't feel good. It seemed like he legitimately felt sick.
He told me that he was in bad shape and that when he texted me, it felt like he did 100 push-ups.
See?
But he's doing his new podcast called The Fix, and you'll be able to hear that on our website, 973ESPN.com. I'm going to fix myself one of these beers. I'll be back with more Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN, the free mobile app.
Off season?
One off season.
We're talking Eagles and NFL every day.
4 p.m.
With John McMullen on 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's football station.
75 years.
Broncos on SmackDown tonight.
Oh, man. What time?
Now you can double up
8
with
p.m.
tickets,
is the
2 for
show
25.
start. 8 to 10, man.
8 to 10? Is it on Fox? Is SmackDown on Fox?
Only
Fox.
$5.
Okay.
So while you're-
I'll shoot you a text tonight. Hey, text me at like 7:50. Shoot me a reminder.
For limited time only. So come and see us.
7:55. How about that?
Okay.
Use our app.
Beautiful.
Legit Texas barbecue.
Your local Dickey's Barbecue in Egg Harbor Township is open now for takeout and delivery orders.
The Insane Inflatable 5K is coming to town. Gather your friends and family and run as a group or dress up in costume and get silly. Head over to InsaneInflatable5K.com to check out all of the inflatables that will challenge you, surprise you, and leave you wanting more. For more info, go to InsaneInflatable5K.com.
Don't miss the Insane Inflatable 5K, Saturday, August 1st at New Jersey Motorsports Park in Millville. Get your tickets today at 973ESPN.com.
Credit products are issued by WebBank, member FDIC. Rates and terms vary based on credit history. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Offer valid for loan products 90 days after today. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
How do I feel? Awesome.
Like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
Hundreds of thousands of people are discovering the relief of a fixed-rate debt consolidation loan through Avant.
I paid off all my credit cards, and now I just have one easy monthly payment with Avant. And I don't have to worry about the rates going up.
Avant offers you access to unsecured debt consolidation loans from $2,000 to $35,000.
When I saw Avant was accredited by the Better Business Bureau, I knew that was the company for me.
Do you know how good it feels to only worry about one monthly payment?
Experience the relief of a debt consolidation loan through Avant. Plus, get a free $50 Amazon gift card after your first payment is made on time. To check your loan options and get this free offer, go to Avant.com and enter code 9797 when applying. Avant.com, code 9797. That's Avant.com, code 9797.
Get to Kohl's and stack the savings with an extra 15% off. Save on Shark vacuums. Get 50% off Serta memory foam pillows and mattress toppers. And save on kids apparel. Plus, take $10 off your kids' sale purchase of $50 or more. Plus, get Kohl's Cash. Plus, get it in 1 hour or less with buy online, free store pickup Friday through Sunday at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Offers valid March 13th to 22nd. 10 off 50 kids with promo code KIDS10. 15% off with promo code CHARM15. Select style. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Paid for by the Auto Warranty Helpline.
You have the
This is a
WWE
special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in economy, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-760-1965 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-760-1965. 800-760-1965. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-760-1965.
Probably was getting the streaming.
Oh, right. Yeah. To that thing, right.
Spiro app.
No, it's fine. No, I think it's not interfering with our mic, so I don't see why it sounds good.
That's XSPERO. And shop these local businesses. La Cucina Ristorante at Centerpoint Plaza.
Yeah, no, it kind of reminds me of my iPad mini.
609-676-0470 for pickup and delivery between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Italy is offering family dinners that feed 4 to 6 people, delivery service, curbside pickup, and online ordering. Visit their website at littleitalynorthfield.com.
Saka Subs in Ocean City is still serving up their famous Subs to Go. Takeout, pickup, and delivery is available Sunday through Wednesday from 11 to 7 and Thursday through Sunday from 11 until 8. Give without costing you more. Download the Xpero app and support our nonprofit partners right from your phone, including Gilda's Club of South Jersey, Atlantic County Habitat for Humanity, and the Arc of Atlantic County.
Sweet and salty bars from Nature Valley are a perfect combination of sweet and salt. So take a moment for yourself out here.
They did that
You
hot
deserve every last bite. Nature Valley Sweet and Salty Bar.
Here we go.
Now available in minis.
All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the free mobile app. Mike and Broads, you can watch us live. Sports Talk Broads on YouTube, at Broads81. You can get the link right there, at 973 ESPN. By the way, so for the Pete Thompson's going to be live with us. We got some news on the PT that he's going to share with us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour right after football at 4 today. He has already submitted his classic rock region.
Oh, wow. So he's dedicated. Not that I didn't think he would be dedicated, but he dialed in pretty early, no?
I'm surprised. The PT was the first.
Now, so you haven't gotten yours done, is what you're saying.
I didn't even know that it was green lighted yet. Well, like Josh is spearheading this now. Josh, you're in charge of this thing now.
Yeah, I already have Eitan and Moshe working on their 8.
Okay, so they are, I didn't even know if you was communicated with Eitan and Moshe
You're slacking, Gil.
Well, Moshe, Eitan is the guy who made us get a fantasy football league together and then bailed on it.
That's correct.
So he's not the most reliable guy when it comes to stuff like this. Like, hey, you want to come up with a thing? And he probably, like, did he not like the idea? Was he kind of like, because you know Eitan, he's got to be combative with you.
Well, we had to talk him through it, and him and Jeff agreed to my theory, which is they should limit their hip-hop rappers from 85 to 2005, so they at least stay within an era.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how,
The point is,
I don't care where they get their artists from. It's just the fact that they got to come up with. Now, my idea was, instead of doing a full 64, just do a Sweet 16.
Right, that's what we're doing 1 through 8.
Right. So instead of doing 1 verse 16 for every bracket, just start at the Sweet 16.
So that means each would have what? 4?
8.
Well, then how? There's 4 sections though.
No, we're going to be down to. Yeah, you're going to have 8.
It's a Sweet 16, basically.
Okay, I misunderstood how you were approaching this. I got you.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, there's going to be 8 in each round. Each region has 8 people. And then you're going to have the matchups between those 8, and the winner of the region faces the final 4 of each champion.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how
We're
this
about
goes.
to find out what our audience favorite genre is. Now, PT came up with the classic rock region. I mean, I actually see it. There it is. It's on the text board. He emailed it to the text board.
Now,
He emailed it to me personally, too.
I have it right here.
So he's not just
He's
sending
on top
it.
of his game,
I was just
guys.
going to say. I mean, he has sending it to everyone.
He has the whole thing. I mean, he has the number 1 seed. I mean, should I reveal his bracket
No, I
a
don't
little
think.
bit here?
I don't think so. You got to have the people anticipating this greatness.
Okay, well, you're going to be able to vote on his matchups starting Thursday. Now, how is the voting happening, Josh? Is this going to be a Twitter poll? How are we? How are the people going to be able to vote?
We're going to put the poll on the website, 973ESPN.com. So each day you'll have a chance to vote on.
Yeah, but what's going to be the voting?
Region.
What's going to be the voting platform?
The website.
Well, what's going to be on the
like,
website?
what, is it just going to be the words?
Like
you
Poll
gotta-
Daddy?
Right.
Like,
It's going to be a poll. You click on the poll and you vote which one you want.
Right, but through what mechanism?
We might have some details to figure out here, Gil.
We can put polls on the website.
Okay, you know how to do that.
I've seen it done. So.
All right.
Well, I've seen it done, and I know how to do that. Or 2 different answers.
Yeah, and guess what? Digital Ashley is not in the building for the foreseeable future. So if you need her help, that's probably not happening. All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. The PT region is already out there. All right, Sports Bash Live, back with more. Next hour, a lot of Eagles stuff we want to get into. We're kind of looking back at the week that was here. Then McMullen at 4. Anthony Beck, former first-round pick tonight at 5 o'clock.
Hey, Sal Jersey. On the next edition of The Locker Room, we will review the moves the Eagles made in free agency. And with the sports world on hiatus, people are turning to sports movies for entertainment. My special guest Saturday inspired millions of Americans. And the movie Rudy. We will talk with Rudy Rudiger about his story, his life, and overcoming adversity. It's The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app.
That crowd.
At Indeed, we believe a resume is a great way to see an overview of a candidate, but you're not hiring a resume, you're hiring a person. That's why Indeed offers tools that help bridge the gap between a candidate and the resume, like skill tests, which let you actually see a candidate's abilities in action to make sure they're a good fit for the job. See beyond the resume with Indeed. Experience Indeed for yourself today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/promo. Terms and conditions apply.
And then obviously that conversation's kind of.
It's Goodyear Auto Service March Deal Days. 31 days of amazing savings, like 20% off an oil change. Now, that's a deal worth driving in for. In fact, 20% off an oil change is one of many amazing deals you can get during March Deal Days on almost everything your car needs. So don't miss it. 20% off an oil change. Offer ends March 31st. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Visit GoodyearAutoservice.com to learn more or to schedule an appointment today.
I just put up.
It's spring. With the Home Depot in your corner, there's never been a better time to be a doer. With new ways to knock more projects off your list. Download our app with new tools like image search. Snap a picture of something, it'll tell you what it is. And our product locator will lead you right to it in the store. Can't make it to the store? We have a truckload of convenient delivery options. From time-saving tools to game-changing innovations. It's a good time to be a doer. This spring, At the Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Oh, wow.
US
Need one of those.
Parents, do you want your child's shoes to
Where was
fit
that being
perfectly?
broadcast at?
Then you need to get your kids Skechers Stretch Fit shoes.
Golf
Because
course.
Skechers Stretch Fit shoes easily slip on and fit almost like a sock. And not only do they fit like a dream, they perform like one too. Skechers Stretch Fit keeps your child's feet comfortable all day long with Skechers' exclusive air-cooled memory foam. Plus, you'll love just how durable they are. And if they get dirty, just pop them in the washing machine. Skechers Stretch Fit shoes. Find them at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever kids' shoes are sold.
ESPN News, stay safe, everyone. Getting a home security system used to mean weeks of messy installation at the cost of a small fortune. Now, thanks to Simply Safe, there's an easy way to get award-winning protection that'll blanket your entire home. With Simply Safe, you get outdoor cameras and doorbells that alert you to anyone approaching your home. Plus, entry, motion, and glass break sensors that guard the inside. The best part is that you can set up this system all by yourself. Anyone can do it, even me. And there's absolutely no trade-offs to your safety. You'll have an army of highly trained security experts ready to dispatch police to your home at a moment's notice 24/7. Simply Safe is only 50 cents a day, and there's no contracts. That's probably why The Verge calls Simply Safe the best home security system. Go to simplysafe.com/fits today, and you'll get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. Simplysafe.com/fits, FITZ today for free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. You got nothing to lose. Go now and be sure you go to simplysafe.com/fits, FITZ. That's simplysafe.com/fits.
This March, drive home luxury at BMW of Atlantic City. Shop hundreds of your favorite new pre-owned and certified pre-owned BMWs, like the all-new redesigned 2023 series, now more powerful than ever before. Available and in stock today. For an exceptional dealership experience you'll remember, get to BMW of Atlantic City on Black Horse Pike, minutes off Parkway Exit 37, and online at BMWAtlanticCity.com. BMW of Atlantic City, closer than you think. Find exceptional offers through BMW Financial Services.
Hey, it's Mike Gill from the Sports Bash. Head over to PlaySugarHouse.com to play real money casino games from the comfort of your home. At PlaySugarHouse.com, you'll find table games that you can play online right on the site. Blackjack, roulette, and more. Right on your phone, real money. You can also make your bet with live dealers. Visit PlaySugarHouse.com and have fun. Must be 21 or older. Playable in New Jersey only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers. WENJ, WENJ 18, Millville, Atlantic City, 373 ESPN. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN. Now, live inside the Matt Black Kia Studios, here's Mike Gill.
All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the free mobile app. I'm Mike Gill, Hunter Brody. Now, Broads, we're live on the Sports Talk at Broads YouTube stream, so you can watch us. We're just hanging out outside on the porch now. My girlfriend brought 8 cases of beer home. We're stocked.
That's lovely.
By the end of this show, we're going to be wasted.
You're damn right.
I looked to see what she got. I see a couple of hazy little things.
Yeah, she went for the IPA, right? I mean, that's your thing, right?
Wolf Pup, I see over there. A little hot fish. What else is in there?
My favorite beer ever is a Yards Pale Ale. I just think it's so smooth. It's so nice. I love it. It's my go-to. See, my buddies come in. They got their, 30s over their shoulders, and here I come in with,
30s or what?
Whatever. Miller, Bud, they just, whatever's the most for all the boys. I come in with, my 2 6s of Yards Pale Ale. I put the feet. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
I'm an old man.
You're the old man?
I
25,
am, yet. I'll be 25 in May. I can't believe it. Midlife crisis. But they're 28, 29, doing their thing. They got their Busch Lights over their shoulder. Here I come with my 12-pack of Pale Ales. It is what it is.
By the way, last night I tuned in for a little bit while listening to the 1979 re-air.
How was it?
It was awesome.
Yeah,
but it's so funny. All the broadcasts back then are exactly the same. Here I'm standing with Larry Bird, senior from Indiana State. Larry, great to have you. Hi, Marv. Thanks for having me. Everything is so cookie cutter classic. It was just
right with the old school microphones too. I'm picturing some of the game shows, the really. I don't know what game show I'm thinking of right now, but yeah.
Joining me now from Indiana State, he's a senior. This is Larry Bird.
You know
Larry,
what though?
Thanks for joining us. Hey John, thanks for having me.
30 years from now, people will look back at this era and probably do the same exact thing.
Sure, but it's just everything was Joining me now is Michigan State senior Magic Johnson. Magic, great to have you. Hi, Tom. It's great to be here. Like, the interviews are just so perfectly classic.
And I'm picturing the TV side of it, too, like the grainy television screen.
Well, even the radio broadcast last night was like, there's Bird. He's got it off to Johnson. Johnson over to Steve. Stevens over to Jones. Jones, he shoots. He scores. He's got a 3. 29 seconds left to play here in the third. I mean, it's just like everything is just so, oh, man, it is just classic. Now, tonight the game is 16 beats 1 for the first time. University of Maryland, Baltimore County versus Virginia. What's the betting line on that? I'm taking UMBC tonight.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Can you imagine if they open that up?
That's the game we have tonight at 8 o'clock on 97.3 ESPN. Tomorrow we have doubleheader. All right, starting at 2 o'clock, right after Sports Bash Saturday, we're going to have Davidson versus Gonzaga. This is when Steph Curry had 40 in that game and upset Gonzaga. And in Game 2, it's Kansas versus Memphis, the 2008 championship game when Mario Chalmers hit the championship shot. And then on Sunday, the doubleheader is Florida Gulf Coast beating Georgetown, the 15 versus the 2.
I do remember that.
It was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
2013, actually, it wasn't a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It was 6 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
That happened.
Wow. I do remember that game, though.
Dunking their way, remember that?
Yeah. They were doing all kinds of alley-oops. For some reason, I thought it was the Southwest Philly floater, but that was LaSalle, I think. That was LaSalle. Dr. Giannetti.
Yeah.
Guys are beauty.
Was it LaSalle or Drexel? I think it was LaSalle.
No, yeah, it was LaSalle. Yeah, Dr. Giannetti. Guys are beauty.
Yeah, is he your professor?
He was at, he's like the athletic director now at Rowan.
Yeah, he emailed me one time. I got back to him, and then he never responded.
He's a good dude. He definitely is.
Dr. John.
Yeah, he's a great. I wish I saw him. I told him the first time I met him, we were hanging out, like, oh, what do you want to do? You know, we're just talking about future goals. And I said, Coach, I would take a charge for you any day. Coaches love to hear that, right, Coach? If I would take a charge any day.
Your sneaker game today.
These are I walked the dog in the mud shoes.
Remember the other day we were having the conversation about how
it was on my driveway.
Yeah, but like your driveway basketball hoop game, you've got these sneaks are just they're not hoop sneaks.
No.
They're just sock game's poor.
They're white mid calves. I mean, how much? What am I supposed to go Nike Elites on you?
No, but the Nike mid calf sock, you can't rock it with that shoe. And
I
play
absolutely.
hoops.
Well, no, that's just a casual. I gotta walk the dog, but I'm gonna shoot a couple.
Then you have
hoops.
like a lacrosse short on.
What do you mean? These are Lululemon.
I don't know what that means.
I know you don't. Lululemon. These are nice shorts.
I get that, but that's not a hoop short.
No, well,
like
sure
it
it
can
can
be.
be.
The calf show, like when you put your video on for the hoopster.
Yeah, but it's me shooting my. If I was going the ball out for real, 5-on-5, we're gonna play with the boys. I got all my capri leggings, like I get all my LeBrons. I go full out, like I got a headband, like I'm doing it.
Going
I'm going headband. Caruso from the Lakers. That's what I look like. But
yeah,
now,
but the shoe here, like you can't rock out driveway hooping with them on.
But driveway
That's
hooping
like when I
is
walk
a
out
casual shooting. Like I'm not really putting effort in. It's a casual J. I'm just dribbling. It's not like I'm going out there working on my isolation moves and fadeaways.
Like if I went out in the driveway and started rocking my Brooks. You can't wear Brooks in the driveway.
It depends on what. Are you legitimately shooting hoops or are you just tossing a couple up?
Either way.
No, see, I disagree. Tossing a couple up. I might even go no shoes. I might go nothing. Bare feet. Couple how-do-you-dos.
I think a barefoot look is better than what you got going
now. See,
right now.
what do you mean I have a shoe, a Nike shoe on? How is barefoot better? Now, these are dirty. This is the walk the dog in the mud.
The condition of the shoe is not what I'm judging here.
Well,
it's the actual style of the sneak.
A Nike
just not made. Plus, first off, you have the white sneak on and a white sock.
Oh, yeah, that shows how out of date you are, I think, with the new look. You can go white shoe, white sock. It's a common thing. Now, I'll tell you what people do. They wear sweatpants, and I don't do this. I'm anti this. This is stupid. You tuck the sweatpants in over the sock.
Yeah, that's an awful look.
That's a terrible look. I guess I'm out of the question for that, too.
Yeah, what age bracket is doing that?
Mine. I mean, my age bracket's doing that.
Yeah, I saw young guys the other day who had the sweatpants, and like you guys have, like I can't wear, my problem is I'm too short. So they don't make the length for sweatpants for a guy like me.
Are you saying they're too long?
Yeah, like the length of the sweatpant it hangs too long on me,
so they
get
dragging?
baggy or dragging. Now you have these sweatpants that are tapered towards the
bottom.
bottom.
Yeah, the joggers.
But I can't wear them either because the top of them will hang over the jogger part.
No, you're
too short.
Okay, I get your
point. They don't look like they don't have a good look because I'm too short.
Right, they don't look like the jogger. It's more just like a sweatpant with like elastic at the bottom almost.
Right, and the top part of it will like hang over because...
But I think that's the better option than the dragging of the sweatpant.
Yeah, but I just don't like... Even like a running pant.
Okay.
Like a jogging pant?
Yeah.
I can't because they're too long on me.
I think you'll be able to make it work.
I have one pair that I got tailored.
You actually got it tailored?
I had to. I mean, I have to have one pair of long pants that I can lounge around my house in.
Wow, so you tailored the lounge around pant.
Had to.
I totally disagree.
I have one pair of sweatpants in my... I had them on yesterday, and they cover my whole foot.
If it's a lounge pant where you don't leave the house, who cares? It's a lounge pant. You don't tailor the lounge pant.
It's not a bad thought, but I do want to leave the house sometimes with the lounge pant on.
Well, if you're going to your local establishment to go get your coffee gas, who cares?
Well, because they're too long.
But are you afraid that someone might be like, oh, there's Mike Gill, and then they go back to the work I just saw Mike Gill, his sweatpants were hanging over his bed. He's the baggy pant guy. Then you're known as the baggy pant guy. You don't want to be that guy.
That's like being known as the poor sock game with a white shoe
A
game.
white Nike mid-calf is not a poor look. It is
when you're
a good
playing
look.
hoops, though.
What do you mean? They all wear Nike high socks. You watch LeBron. Watch, he's got the high socks on with the leggings.
Oh, I'm not talking about the socks being high. I'm just talking about with that particular.
Okay, so the shoe sock you're not into.
Well, the shoe sock combo and the disparity between where the short begins and the sock.
This is a nice level short here. Like this is the good old 9-incher. That's what they're called. They're called the 9-inch shorts. You got the 5s, the 7s, the 9s, the 11s. This is the 9-incher. It's the truth, though. I'm not even making this up. I mean, that's what it is.
I mean, when I rocked myself back to the court for the first time, I had to make sure the game was the sneak game,
if
the
you
sock
call
game,
me up and we're going to LA Fit,
short length,
you will see a totally different approach. I'm telling you, I got my leggings, I got the LeBrons. I'll bring my own ball. I didn't mind messing around. I got my Gatorade bottle,
my own ball.
Yeah,
I came prepared. I brought my own ball.
I better bring the rack. Hey boys, you want to warm up? We got the rack of balls. Maybe we'll do a shoot around like that. I don't know.
All right, Sports Bash brought to you by Vinny and the team at BMW of Atlantic City for your next BMW right off the Parkway next to the Home Depot in Egg Harbor Township. Online at BMWAtlanticCity.com. All right, when we come back, what about Alshon Jeffrey? What about Jason Peters? What about the offseason the Eagles have had so far? We will start to dive into it all. The Sports Bash is live on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
There's never an off season for football. We're talking Eagles and NFL every day.
Oh, man,
with John McMullen on 97.3 ESPN.
South Jersey's
football station.
Nature Valley brings that satisfying crunch that gets your family going again with real delicious honey and whole grain nuts. So get out here. Nature Valley Oats and Honey Crunchy Bars. The original crunch.
Yeah, I have a couple pairs.
Hello, you know my voice, don't you?
Right,
Well, just this once,
But
let
that's
me
a
tell
better
you
look
something
than the
without
baggy
you
sweat.
asking me first. Now you can complete the census
No, these
online.
actually-
Just
they're
go
a
to
nice
2020census.gov. The census cannot
but they're
share
so
your
long
response.
on me.
More
So when you put
importantly,
shoes on
you
with
can
them,
help
right, they
inform
don't shut
how
the right.
billions in
Right,
funding
I know
will
what you
be
mean.
spent each
I got a
year
pair
on
that's
things
kind
in
of
your
like that, but
community.
it's not even the
Complete the
baggy sweat,
census
it's the
online,
bunch-up.
by phone, or by mail. Shape your future.
It's
Start
almost
here
ridiculous.
at 2020census.gov. Paid for by U.S. Census Bureau.
Have you joined Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook? Join now and get in on all the sports action,
That was
along with
something.
45 million other members worldwide.
Gosh,
and
what did
guess
that
what?
sound
It's available right now in New Jersey. Place bets before the
I felt
game
like
starts
Aton
or
there.
use
Aton,
in-play
Aton.
betting across a range of markets on the biggest sports, like spreads in football, money lines in basketball, total hits in baseball, puck lines in hockey, fight outcomes, or the next goal scorer in soccer. Use BetBuilder to create the bet you want. But if you can't watch the games live, get in-game notifications. Bet365 also lets you cash out before a game's finished. Sounds pretty cool, right? Download the app and check out the exciting offers for new members, or visit bet365.com and discover why Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Oh, I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
If you're one of the millions of Americans who owes back taxes, if you get nervous when the mail comes because you might get a letter from the IRS, then you've heard. Their enforcement agents are cracking down this year and can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts. Even your home or business could be at risk over unpaid taxes. It's all true, but it's also true there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative, an important government program for tax debt assistance. The award-winning experts at Optima Tax Relief will fight to get you the best deal possible, protecting your paycheck and your assets from IRS collections. But don't delay, because the IRS is tacking on interest and hefty penalties every single day. So don't wait until it's too late. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-968-9022. 800-968-9022. 800-968-9022.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
From small updates to big projects, Lowe's has what you need and deals to help you save. Step up your flooring, 10% off Pergo laminate. You also purchase Pergo Gold underlayment. And see your home in a whole new light by shopping the latest decorative lighting styles. Don't want to install it yourself? No problem, because now you can get up to $70 off lighting installation. Whatever's on your to-do list today and every day, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 4/8 U.S. only.
Do you crave the thrill of success and all the opportunities that come of it? Are you an ambitious professional seeking an exciting career opportunity with unlimited earning potential? Are your achievements most rewarding when they also benefit others? If so, then you may have what it takes to join South Jersey's leading radio and online marketing sales team at Town Square Media. Discover your passion for advertising sales and earn a guaranteed salary while you learn. Leverage newfound skills in integrated marketing campaign design and help local businesses reach their goals. With commission gains and hands-on training, your income grows right alongside your skill set, so you'll never be making less than what you're worth. Call Mike Rubel, market president at 09-645-9797 today to schedule an interview. What fulfilling career in advertising sales for Town Square Media, Atlantic City. Positions are competitive and won't be available long. Call 609-645-9797 and take success into your own hands today.
A little Pearl Jam bringing us back here. You're familiar with Pearl Jam?
I know the people. I don't know the people. Yeah, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is totally
Did
Pearl
you
Jam.
know that Pearl Jam,
I know one song.
the original name of Pearl Jam was supposed to be Mookie Blaylock?
I did not know that.
Do you know who Mookie Blaylock is?
No.
The basketball player who played for the Atlanta Hawks?
No, I do not know.
Oh, he was a great Hawk.
What?
When you're a great Hawk, you're a great Hawk.
Yeah, well, I mean, is Trae Young a great Hawk?
Mookie Blaylock. We did a whole segment a week or so ago about the Hawks that you can remember for some reason. I don't know how it came up, but Trey Rollins, Kevin Willis.
There's not many of them.
Steve Smith. Steve Smith could shoot at Michigan State. Remember him?
Oceans, by the way, is the one song I know from Pearl Jam.
You know, daughter.
I don't know. I'd have to
Don't
hear.
call me daughter. Not fair to the picture.
Yeah, I got nothing for
This
it.
is bad.
I mean, it just shows that that's not my genre. That's all. Doesn't mean it's bad.
Even flow.
Like, if I started naming you all these famous Drake songs and all these famous, Kendrick Lamar songs and you don't know them, I'm not like, oh my God, you're pathetic. You just don't listen to them, right? What do you mean? Yeah, I'm gonna name you all these top artists today that you don't listen to. Of course you're not gonna know.
Like it's just the sadness of it. The
Well,
sadness of the generation of rock music is out the window.
Okay. But
Like, look at PT's bracket.
Yes.
Those are all artists that happened before I was alive, but we had the option of going back and listening to them, and it was like, this is cool music. Now there's no rock music that your generation goes. There's no rock.
Right.
It's a genre that's completely out.
Right. Everyone who listens to rock, it's all those people because there's nothing in today's era that is that.
Not really.
Right.
Like before I did sports talk radio, I worked at the rock station. I worked at it as an alternative rock station that played new rock music, and then those outlets just died off.
Well, today's hip hop is just absolutely garbage. So let me ask you this. I'm a hip hop fan. I can't stand what's going on today with hip hop. Would you rather there be bad rock music or none at all and just appreciate the greatness? Because right now I have to deal with crap hip hop. So I think it would be better if there wasn't even crap hip hop to listen to.
I like a lot of hip hop. I grew up with a lot of hip hop more, and I like the old hip hop much better than I like the newer hip hop, or even like the recently old hip hop. Back when Public Enemy and Wu-Tang and that kind of stuff. I'm still a big fan of that stuff, but even the '90s grunge rock music stands the test of time. It's a shame that people in your generation haven't gone back to listen to it and incorporated it like we did with the '70s rock. I'm 43. That stuff came back. Led Zeppelin was being played in the '70s. I wasn't alive for that.
Well, that's because I don't have a vinyl.
You don't need a vinyl. You'll get a CD player.
Yeah, where's that at? Radio Shack? They're closed.
Get an iPad.
They're closed.
Get an iPod.
Yeah, iPod.
That's the second time Radio Shack's been brought up to me today. I asked our engineer about that green cord. I told him what we're doing. I said, look, we're broadcasting the show from the house. Yesterday, we did the show on YouTube, but the viewers on YouTube couldn't hear our interviews.
Right.
So he said, well, you could run to Radio Shack, but they don't exist anymore.
Well, how about that?
What
are the odds?
My stones.
If we're doing the betting odds.
What are the odds that 2 Radio Shack references would be made in the same day?
Plus 10 million.
By 2 different people.
Plus 10 million. That's key. 2 different people is key in this because, he could have said it twice in the same, conversation.
And Radio Shack, it's not like the stuff that they had is no longer necessary.
It's all Best Buy stuff. It just moved to a place that is more up to date.
Yeah, Best Buy, Walmart, Radio Shack.
Yes.
They essentially were sorry.
Right. Yeah, they're better.
But if I'm going to get that stuff, I felt more secure in the Radio Shack.
Really?
Yeah.
See, not me. I am Best Buy all the way. They have everything. Why wouldn't it be Best Buy?
Well, I felt the guy in Radio Shack really had a lot of pride in being the guy at Radio Shack.
Okay, so he's real happy.
Yeah,
to be there.
he had the short sleeve button up.
Okay, so if you're Best Buy, you go to not SeatGeek. What do they call that? The
Geek Squad.
Geek Squad. That's what I'm thinking of. Not to knock anyone who works.
What do you think about a guy who wears a short sleeve button up with a tie?
Now it's funny you bring up the short sleeve button up. That guy who wears the jeans to work out.
Has that guy resurfaced at all?
All he wears is a short sleeve button up. He just that's his whole closet.
With a tie or
no tie?
Is it buttoned all the way up?
Buttoned all the way up.
What age group is this gentleman in?
60.
What's he? What was the guy from the Seinfeld? The Mandelbaum.
Oh man!
Mandelbaum that we're all working out.
Listen.
So wait, this guy who wore the jeans to lift.
Yeah.
And he had the dress shoe on.
Yeah. All he wears is button-ups.
Did he have the button-up on when he was lifting?
No, he took it off with the white tee. He had the white tee underneath, he was just wearing the white tee. But yes, funny story about the shirt. We should get into some football, by the way. Jason Peters and Alshon Jeffrey.
I just want to ask about the guy with have you seen that guy again?
Yeah, he was over today, working out. He had sweatpants on.
Were they baggy?
I went right over the toe. No, they didn't go over the toe. They were a normal fit.
Here's a question before we get into the football.
Yeah.
Here's a question I want to ask people. How many people are noticing things that they do because of this? Because of this, I now notice that I touch my face 1,000,000 times.
But I don't.
1,000,000.
I don't think you would have noticed that if part of the issue was don't touch your face.
That's what I'm saying. What are you doing now that you're noticing because of the restrictions in our lives?
Yeah, I've done the touch. Sometimes I'm watching TV. I'm like this on my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Here's a question. What what constitutes a face touch?
An itch.
Okay, but is it a forehead? Is it an ear? Is it...
Oh, it depends on what itch is. What do you mean? You can't control the itch.
I know, but I'm saying, like, if I scratch my forehead, is that a face touch?
Yes.
Is it the face touching below the eyes?
Oh, okay. So ears. That's a... is that a face? I don't know if the ear is a face touch. It's ear in. Ear in.
But
forehead,
above,
that
above
counts.
the eyes?
Yeah, that counts. That's
what
face.
About, okay, if you're watching TV or something and you're sitting with hand on, like, ear, and half your hand is eclipsing your ear, and some of it's on the cheek.
Due to this situation that's going on with Corona, I would say that's touching the face. If there was nothing going on like this, that's a casual lean. But because you can't be close to your face, I will count that as face touch.
If you're doing this.
Yeah, it's a face touch.
Right?
Yeah, it's a face touch. I mean, you have your palm on your forehead. I mean, you're touching the face. It's
the people viewing could be like, dude, what? Like
I think the people listening are like, what the hell?
I'll tell you, because I have problems seeing out of one of my eyes. My one eye is stronger than the other. So a lot of times when I read a computer screen, I might cover my left eye so I can just see with my right eye.
Well, I would say stop doing that.
Right, I'm saying, so it's screwing me right now.
Yes.
But I have noticed.
You're getting made fun of, by the way, on the YouTube chat. Like, the fact that you believe that would not be touching your face.
The scratch?
The forehead, any of it. Everything you've said so
far. The forehead, the face.
Yes, you're getting absolutely destroyed right now on this YouTube feed.
The forehead's the face, I guess.
Yes. I mean, I think that was pretty obvious. I mean, that's perfect, by the way.
I just don't know
Larry David.
I just don't know what of the forehead would cause some sort of what you would attract. What would be germination on your forehead? Like, what on your forehead could cause respiratory issue? I can understand, like, scratching your eye and getting, like, eye liquid.
I think it's
not nasal, runny nose, mouth. But if I touch my forehead, is something seeping osmosisly through my hand into my forehead and causing me?
I don't know the answer to that, but I'll tell you this: we can't be 6 feet.
Yeah, I got yelled at yesterday by my girlfriend.
So we can't be 6 feet. So if we're 4 feet, we're not touching.
How close are we right now?
I don't know.
This isn't 6.
You don't think so?
No.
You have a tape measure?
I do, actually.
But my point is, if you touch your forehead, you have more of a chance of actually getting something. 6, I mean, think about the separation here. So if you're talking about legit contact compared to non-contact, why is it that way?
That'll be a good visual. We'll have the tape measure here, 6 feet, so people watching will know that we are 6.
And if somebody comes out, the New Jersey government, like, where you guys sit, whoa, we have visual evidence.
I had to get one of those papers that says I'm allowed to drive.
What do you mean?
Like, they're going to shut down the state possibly at some point. If they do, that you're going to have to drive from place to place. Like,
why do you get that? Because you're media?
Because I'm essential.
Right. Well, I don't think that's necessarily true, but
well,
it's like flawed.
That's
right. You're not actually essential to anything.
Yeah. So like we had to get like a special paper to say like you're allowed to leave your house because that's going to be the next step. New York just shut down the whole state. That's coming. It's coming.
See, you're
not going to be able to leave.
I didn't know that. New York is just you can't do anything.
Why do you think my girl got all this beer?
Well, I knew that. I mean, I knew that, but I just thought liquor stores were closing down. That's all.
Yeah, and then everybody else. Can't even get your hair cut. What are you going to do with that lettuce?
Well, this lettuce is beautiful, and I'm going to grow it out to my own days.
All right, when we come back, we will talk about the Eagles' free agency and all season. Hey, look, you got 4 hours. Sometimes you just got to laugh it off.
I agree.
Sometimes you just got to laugh it off. I can't believe the guy had jeans, and he wears the short sleeve button-up, like a Radio Shack guy. If you Google Radio Shack worker, it's going to be short sleeve, button-up, tie, a disheveled hairdo.
I don't think they went tie.
Disheveled hairdo.
No, they didn't go tie. Look, it's just this almost looks like Frankel. Maybe a little bit.
Who?
Mike Frankel? It's a polo. They went polo.
No.
Well, put your hand over your eye.
No, they had the short sleeve button up.
Put your hand over your eye.
All right, we'll be back with more Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the free mobile app.
Tonight, Westwood One presents great games in NCAA tournament history. The 2018 first-round matchup between UMBC and Virginia. The first and only time A 16 seed defeated at number 1. Hey, how are you, folks? This is Jason Orr with the Westwood One. Join me as we listen back to the full game broadcast and hear from some of the players and coaches that were a part of that March Madness moment right here.
Exclusively on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Coverage begins at 8 p.m.
Spring is just around the corner. You can almost feel it, but you don't have to wait. Because at Matt Blatt Kia, you simply can't make a mistake with the new 2020 Kia and our 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Matt Blatt Kia is the #1 selling Kia dealer in New Jersey, according to KMA 2019 reporting, and 2 convenient locations. We want your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. When you purchase a 2020 V6 Sorrento and pocket 3,500 Kia Motors cash back, or pay 0% APR financing for 66 months, 2020 Optima EX models can get you $3,000 Kia Motors cash back or 0% financing for 66 months. And remember, if you have a job clearing $400 per week, Matt Blatt Kia in Egg Harbor Township and Toms River want to get you approved.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
0% APR based on $1,550 per 1,000 borrowed through KNF on approved credit. All offers plus tax tags. Offers can't be combined. Negative equity refinanced and new loan. Dial 888-703-6459 or go to mattblattkianj.com for complete details. Expires 4/3/2020. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
At Walgreens, refreshing your spring beauty routine is easy thanks to fresh new deals. Right now, buy 2 cosmetics, nail products, or beauty accessories and get your 3rd one free. Shop your favorites from brands like L'Oreal Paris, Maybelline, and CoverGirl. Or try over 1,000 new beauty items today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. While supplies last, restrictions and exclusions apply. See store for details.
It's time for some straight talk. It's tax refund time, and the big wireless companies play a game where they lure you in with a phone deal that locks you into a pricey contract. Don't play. With Straight Talk Wireless, get a Samsung Galaxy A10e for just $99, all on America's best networks for up to half the cost. No contract. Make that tax time money win all year long. Straight Talk Wireless, everything for less.
Savings may vary. See straighttalk.com. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of pay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do business more powerfully during Dell's semi-annual sale. Save up to 45% on Dell computers and servers with Intel Core processors. It's time for you to upgrade to new modern devices with Windows 10. Also, save on electronics and accessories, plus free shipping on everything and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call 877-BUY-DELL to talk to a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find just the right tech. That's 877-BUY-DELL or visit Dell.com/business deals.
Does it matter what order we play them in?
And start the savings with an extra 15% off. Save on Shark Vacuum.
But remember when I play them, you guys need to be quiet in the background. It's coming on the same channel.
Plus, take $10 off your kid's sale purchase of $50 or more. Plus, get cold cash. Plus, get it in 1 hour or less with buy online, free store pickup Friday through Sunday at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Offers
That's why it's hard to play music when we come in and out of the break. Right. Like, you can hear like wave.
Select style. Exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
25 seconds.
Save big during O'Reilly Auto Parts Power Torque Tools DIY Day sale. We have great deals on socket sets, impact wrenches, and more. Plus, extend the life of your vehicle and improve performance with 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard filter for $25.99. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Here we go.
Auto Parts.
All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the free mobile app, Mike and Broads. So we just wanted to make sure, we do have a tape measure here. We are about 4.5 feet away.
I'm going closer to 5. I think you need to cover your eye and figure this bad boy out with your one good eye.
Right here is 6.
Right. So, I mean, here's the 1 foot mark. So, I mean,
Well, realistically, 6 would be where I start.
Oh. I mean, technically, I guess you're right. Oh, wow. So that's where I start, too.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
So
we're like 2 feet. Yeah. Oh, no, this is not good.
Yeah, you should probably move.
Yeah, I'll move over. Yeah. Or you move over.
Well, if I move over, I'm going to be off the table.
Well,
you have more table down there. But, you know, it just depends on how safe you want to be in this situation. We did get the Stanley Power Lock thing that I had in my kitchen over there. All right, so let's dive back at the week that's been here for Eagles free agency. It kind of started off with a flurry of the news that really came out. First, the Hargrave news came out. That was the first news that really, came out, that they signed Javon Hargrave. And I feel like that got swept under the rug just because of everything else that happened the very next day. But he's a very good player. I mean, this is a guy that, and I was a little surprised. They do the grades for ESPN.com. Bill Barnwell graded all the moves, and he gave that move a C. He thought the Eagles kind of paid him too much.
That's a terrible grade. And I'm not even being biased because I like to move by the Eagles. You mentioned it. He is a good player. There is no way that is a C move. I mean, if you want to go B-, I can understand a B-. Don't give me a C. That's better than a C.
I like the move a lot. I really thought it was I think it's still an underrated move because of everything else that happened. Because you lost such a high-profile player in Jenkins. Because you decided to replace Jenkins essentially with Jalen Mills. Because you traded for the corner that you've been lacking forever, seemingly forever. That Javon Hargrave is a guy who came in and you're like, wait a second. This is a pretty good player that just got swept under the rug because of all this other noise that was happening. But I think Hargrave gives them, finally, I know Malik Jackson was supposed to be that guy, and he may have been last year. And I don't know that we're ever going to see the same Malik Jackson. But I will say, I think Hargrave, at 27 years old right now, may be equal to what Malik Jackson would have been last year had he been healthy. So I really like adding Hargrave with Malik Jackson coming back.
Well, I wonder if they play this into the effect here. Because we already have Fletcher Cox, Malik Jackson, and then they signed Hassan Ridgeway, although totally different level than the other players.
Yeah, but you need that rotational guy.
I agree with you, but are they just looking at it from a roster perspective and say they have defensive tackles right? If this was a team who just had Fletcher Cox and then they went out and got Hargrave, would they change that grade to a B because they knew that was a hole they needed to fix? Are they hurting the Eagles' grade because they already had too many at that position?
That's a fair question, and I think the money that they paid, it was like, wow, they paid a lot of money for a guy that is maybe like a rotational player.
Do you think he starts over Malik Jackson if both are healthy?
It's going to be interesting to see how that all works. How is Malik Jackson?
Would it be ridiculous to think Fletcher gets a little bit more breathing time?
I think that's why the signing to me gets swept under the rug, because now you could play a scenario where Fletcher and Malik Jackson maybe start the game or play a lot early. Then you rotate Hargrave in. Then you can rotate Jackson in and have him play with Hargrave, and Fletcher can take a beat. See, and you have two. If a team rolled out Malik Jackson and Javon Hargrave as their starting defensive tackles, you would say they got a pretty good interior defense right there.
No, I agree. I think that's what it's going to be crucial for. It's going to be crucial for Fletcher Cox. But think about how powerful Fletch is. So he's in the game, and the other team is double teaming this guy. And if they're not, Fletch is going to eat all night long. So think about taking that out of the game. And I like Malik Jackson, I like Hargrave, but I don't think they're nearly as effective without Fletcher Cox because the other team is clearly going to focus on Fletch. So are you okay?
Chevy Chase Fletch?
Are they okay in limited time together without Fletcher Cox?
Look, Fletcher Cox needs to get off the field at some point. Like, you can't keep playing him as much as you have been the last couple of years. He's going to start slowing down at some point. He had the injury issue last year that he didn't play as well. He's 29 years old now. So at what point, that age has always been 30 for the Eagles. 30 years old when they say, not the same player. Typically they pull the plug on you. Now Fletcher Cox has a contract that pays him This year, 12.9. Next year, 15. And the year after that, 16. So he's a free agent in 2023. He still has 3 seasons left with the Philadelphia Eagles. But you wonder when they say, put it this way, at 2022, he's going to be Malcolm Jenkins. He's going to be 32 or 33 years old, and he's going to be like, hey, I'm not coming back on the deal that I have right now. Which was, by the way, 7 years, $110 million with $63 million guaranteed.
I think at 32, the Eagles are going to let this man walk.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But so for him to get to 32, being a $13 million, $15 million, $16 million player that you're paying in the next 3 years, you've got to limit his snaps a little bit.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that's the mindset of Howie Roseman and this team.
Yeah, and Brooks, he was slow. I don't want to say slowing down. He got off to a slow start last year because...
Was he injured the year before, though?
He came back late. He got a late start to camp. And, you know, he was just not the same Fletcher Cox for a lot of the season last year. Don't you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
He started to turn it on at the end. Same with Malcolm Jenkins. And I loved Malcolm Jenkins and everything he brought here. But last year, I think because he finished strong, everyone kind of forgot how he did make a lot of mistakes last year. And he clearly is not the same player as he once was. And that doesn't mean he's not serviceable. He's still a very good player in this league. He was once a really, really good player in this league. But he made some mistakes, and he was not Malcolm Jenkins early on, and he just finished strong. So people remember how they finished and not so much the full package.
Yes, I mean, Jenkins, you know, one of the things with Jenkins is he's not that ball-hawking safety.
No.
He's not like Troy Polamalu, you know, Earl Thomas. He wasn't that kind of guy where the stats jumped off in terms of picks, forced fumbles.
Well, he did some forced fumbles and things like that. Not so much interceptions and pass breakups. It's not to that level. It's more of the inside-the-box stuff. You know what I mean? Rushing the quarterback,
savvy
even
player.
things like that, yeah.
Savvy player, heady, the leadership aspect that gets sometimes minimized by the common fan who doesn't really, you know, put a whole lot of stock into that. So going back to that Hargrave thing, I think it's going to be a big boost to just not only the line, but Fletcher Cox getting the opportunity to come off the field and not having such a large drop-off. Because when you took Fletcher off the field last year, you were playing sometimes 2 undrafted rookie free agents out there, or, you know, rookies who didn't, or undrafted guys who didn't have a lot of experience playing in the league. And that was based on injury. I mean, if you had Timmy Jernigan playing with Malik Jackson, fine. But those 2 guys never really got a chance to play a whole heck of a lot together because Jackson got hurt. And then Jernigan got hurt. And then, you know, you're playing with Ridgeway and Hester and guys that just were...
Anthony Rush. I thought he did a good job, to be honest with you. I thought he did a good job.
You usually find that big guy who just gets in there and just... It's a big guy.
Big guy?
Yeah. I mean, just takes up space.
That reminds me of Doug Heffernan. Hey, guy.
Yeah, right? Just takes up space, eats the space, takes up 2 blockers.
But now we're going to have some lethal guys doing that. So it'll be fun to watch. And I'm just worried about that defensive end thing. I really am. I think they need to upgrade. They need to upgrade at the defensive end position.
Well, there's a report by Garofalo that Yannick Ngakoue is not available, or that the Jaguars are not trying to trade him.
Well, he wants out, so it doesn't matter what they want.
Okay, you're a young guy.
I'm a young guy.
Social media guy.
I'm a social media guy.
Do you read anything into him tweeting pictures of Reggie White in an Eagles uniform? Not Reggie White in a Packers uniform. Reggie White in an Eagles uniform.
I think he was doing nothing other than having fun. He's quarantined. He's bored. He knows what would happen if he starts doing that. I mean,
Well, why doesn't he pick Bruce Smith?
Well,
why doesn't he pick?
Well, because I think the Eagles. I think
Leonard
that there's
Marshall.
There's reports out
Dexter
there that
Manley.
Howie is at least checked in. So maybe he's trying to, throw something out there.
I don't know that Howie's checked in. The report was that they like him a lot.
Okay.
I mean, I could be out at a hotel lobby and if you're the reporter and I'm the GM, be like, I like that guy a lot.
Okay.
You know?
Well, then
that doesn't mean I checked in. It just says, hey, I like that guy a lot.
Okay. Well, if he heard that Howie liked that guy a lot,
it's not really a report.
Sure. Okay. He likes the guy a lot.
But we got excited. We're like, man, they got Slay. Now they can get a 24-year-old edge rusher who can dominate a game.
I love comparing a lot of things to this, but the Jimmy Butler podcast. What do you think they thought was going to happen when they sat together in that room? Jimmy Butler and J.J. Redick. They knew exactly what it would do to this city. He's doing the same thing. He's having fun. He knows the media will blow this up. Oh my God, is he coming here? When J.J. Redick and Jimmy Butler sat down, they did it because they knew that this place would go crazy about it. So he did the same thing with this Twitter stuff and the Instagram stuff. Let me see if I can spark a little noise. I'm bored. The quarantine's in action.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, those two guys play together here.
But what do you... Come on.
Ngakwe has no ties to this city.
But the mindset's the same.
I like your effort.
What do you mean by... It's very logical. It's not effort. It's not like I failed. It's not like, hey, you worked hard out there, but you failed. Sit on the bench. It's, hey, you're a very logical man, bro, and you make sense all the time. This also makes sense. I'm just spitballing. Yeah.
I mean...
Listen, Jimmy Butler and J.J. Redick sitting down in that room drinking wine, talking about the wine they're drinking. All right, let's get into Philly. You think they just did that because they wanted to do that? They knew they were tweaking us. They were doing it on purpose to piss us off.
Well, Ngakwe's first 4 years in the league, 85 quarterback hits, 42 tackles for loss, 37.5 sacks, and 14 forced fumbles.
That's good. That's good.
I mean, I think if there's something that they could still do that almost tops what they've done, getting him would be the topper.
It would be amazing. It really would be amazing. And I would give up a first-round pick. And that could even go into the conversation about Zach Ertz, that people want to trade him. Maybe you get another first-round pick in return.
Yeah, what is this talk about Ertz that we're getting
It's just a lot about
is it
we should trade Ertz.
There
we
was
should
this
trade
random
Ertz.
rumor that they were going to trade him for Julio Jones. That was a rumor.
Very fake.
That was fake news.
That's a guy at a hotel
and I'm not a fake news
talking to a guy.
Right?
That's a guy at a hotel talking to a guy saying, hey, I heard Zach Ertz might get traded for Julio Jones. Bang, before you know it, it gets blown up. What do you mean, no? You just used the same example.
No, I'm saying, no, it's not happening.
Oh, okay.
That trade's not
I thought
happening.
you were saying my scenario was crap.
No,
you
no,
just
no,
used
no,
the same
oh,
one.
The hotel
The
bar?
hotel guy.
No, that's where it happens.
Okay, I'm just verifying.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that trade is bupkis.
I agree.
Not happening.
Not happening.
They're not trading Zach Ertz for Julio Jones. But what was the scenario? There was a couple people watching us on YouTube that threw some scenarios at us.
Well, they asked if we would do it for the same... They were just asking us personally. Would we do the Zach Ertz trade for the same package of Stephon Diggs? Which was like a first, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth. It was similar to that.
Uh-huh.
Realistically, the thing that matters would be getting that first-round pick back. There's value in the fourth and the sixth and the future pick in the next year, but the first-round pick is serious talk.
Yeah.
The problem I have is I know we have Dallas Goedert, and that's the conversation. You have your guy, but they play 12 personnel set. Like, it is... You mentioned to me off the air Josh Perkins is a guy that could maybe fill it.
Yeah, Perky.
That is not the... Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert, or Dallas Goedert and Josh Perkins. It's not even close.
Well, hold on. They play 12 personnel because of their personnel. If they didn't have two tight ends that needed to be on the field, they wouldn't play 12
I
personnel.
understand, but don't you think they want to play...
better than that. Come on.
But they want to play 12 personnel.
No, they don't want to play 12 personnel.
Well, yes, of course they do.
Have to play.
But they enjoy that style of offense.
I don't agree with you.
Because you can use these players without 12 personnel if you wanted to. You know? You could. It would just be rotated differently.
But their problem is, specifically last year, they had no weapons. Their two best weapons both played the same position. So they had to create an offensive system to maximize the best talent that they had. Which meant I need to have two tight ends on the field because they're my two best pass catchers.
Yeah, but
if
the reason...
You didn't see 12 personnel when they played with Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey.
No, definitely not. But my point is, they want to run this, though. I believe that they want to run this style. They think the 12 personnel set is successful, and they want to run
Why
this.
didn't they run it then when they had a full brigade of talent?
Well, look at the NFL as a whole is starting to get more 12 personnel as a league. It's a copycat league, so I think they're just going with the trend of everybody else. It's just the way the league is going. You're seeing a lot of 12 personnel sets. More than ever before. It's not like every team runs it, but you are seeing it more.
I mean, the Eagles
The
did
tight
not
end
run...
is a very valuable... Like, can't you agree that you look around at these teams that thrive offensively, tight ends are starting to become insanely valuable.
Oh, you heard what Orlovsky has said, is that, he has been asked about being an offensive coordinator and stuff, and he has said some of the teams that he would go to, the Eagles are one of them, San Francisco, because of the tight end that they have. Like, he thinks Gronk is like the most valuable NFL weapon a team can have is like a Gronkowski.
But that kind of defends my point. Now you're getting two of them.
I agree with you, but they have two of them. The Patriots ran 12 personnel because they had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. They didn't run it as much when Hernandez was gone.
No, I get that. I'm not saying they would play 12 personnel all the time, even without two guys. But I do think they prefer running it over other. Like, if they could choose two tight ends and run a 12 personnel system, or not having that, only having one good tight end and running another system, they might be forced to not being able to run 12. But if they could choose which one they would rather have.
I don't think they're choosing to run 12. I think they are. The hand that they're dealt is we have to.
Well, why did they run? They drafted Dallas Goedert for a reason, because they don't draft Dallas Goedert saying, all right, I guess we have to do 12 personnel now. That was a decision made before they drafted him, so they drafted him knowing they wanted to go in that direction. Unless eventually they knew they were going to get rid of Zach Ertz, and then they knew eventually the 12 personnel would start.
Well, and there's a little bit of both in there. Yeah, okay, this guy Goddard, we can use him in 12 personnel. We could create some things for him. And if Zach Ertz gets to the point where this decision comes up, what do we do?
Well, they offered him a contract. It seems as if they really want to have this guy here for the future.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It doesn't
By
seem
the way,
like
you want to hear an amazing stat on Yannick Ngakoue?
Don't I ever?
Of the 12 defensive touchdowns the Jaguars have scored since 2016, he is directly responsible for 5 of them.
Wow.
He has a pick 6, a fumble return, 3 forced fumbles on sacks, and other players recovered for touchdowns. That's the kind of disruptor the Eagles just don't have.
I know. I could only, with that defensive tackle position, you add the defensive ends, you get Slay, who is a shutdown corner type guy. Oh man, I could only imagine. I could only imagine what that would look like.
Not only is Slay a shutdown corner type guy, he's a ball hawking guy that intercepts the ball.
I love that word. I literally love that word, ball hawk. It's just amazing, and I feel like I haven't heard it in 3 million years.
I mentioned it a few times yesterday.
A ball hawk, it's just great. It's just a phenomenal word. When it's your guy, it's that much better. Ball hawk.
Yeah, I mean, just to go back to the Ertz stuff, though, what was the actual deal for
Diggs? All right, we'll look it up. We'll look up the Stephon Diggs trade.
So Diggs went to Buffalo.
Yes.
What pick did Buffalo have?
Okay, so the Bills acquired Vikings receiver and a 7th round pick for the 22nd overall pick, a 5th round.
Wait. What was it again?
Okay, so it's the 22nd overall pick.
Right after the Eagles.
Yes.
Okay, so yes. It's the same trade.
Yeah.
1 pick later.
Right. A 5th round pick, a 6th round pick, and then next year's 4th.
Next year's 4th, too. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
But
now let me ask you this. Would you have done that trade for Diggs for the Eagles? So you're pretty much getting Diggs with your 1st round pick this year. You would not do that. Okay.
I don't think so. Why? Right?
Yeah.
That's your question.
Sure.
Why? I think a receiver I can get at 22 is equal, maybe better.
Okay. That's fair. And
I think there's more talent at wide receiver in this draft, and I think a guy that might be there at 21 is probably equal or better than. I think Diggs is good. I don't think he's great.
I got you. I definitely agree with that. But going back to the Ertz thing with this package, is this something you would do?
Yes.
You would.
If I got back 22 or better, right? A 5th, a 6th, and next year's 4th?
Yeah.
I think so. And it's not that I hate Zach Ertz. I like Ertz a lot.
Yeah, I don't think if you hate Zach Ertz, I mean, I think that he's a great player.
I understand what you'd be losing in your offense, but I think Goddard can be a similar, and quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if Goddard could surpass Ertz.
In certain areas.
He's got great skill, and I'm not saying that Ertz is not a great player. He is, but part of the fact that he's a great player is because of the volume of catches he gets. Right?
So
his stats get.
But why does he get those volumes? Because he's making himself available, I would argue.
Well, and Wentz trusts him. There's no question. He's a reliable guy. Those are not knocks on him. But I think Goddard, if he was in the same role in the offense, would have similar numbers. Do you agree with that? You think his numbers are going to be, if he played the same role as Ertz, the same amount of snaps and played the same role, would he not have Pro Bowl numbers?
He would have good numbers, but I still think Zach Ertz gets himself in a better position than Dallas Goedert might. He's a tougher match, I think, for other players on the other side. He's a tougher, because he's a bigger body. I know that might work to Dallas Goedert's advantage when it comes to maybe speed and whatnot, but I just feel like Zach Ertz is such a tough cover. I don't know if Dallas Goedert is as tough as a cover as Zach Ertz is.
Maybe not. And
not yet either. I'm saying. Like, as if he can still grow. Dallas Goedert can still grow when it comes to his body structure. He can get a little bit heavier, a little thicker as well. We'll see what happens. But I like Dallas Goedert. This is no knock on him. I just think Zach Ertz might do some little things right. Like just positioning his body in different ways to give himself a better option to get the football. It's sort of like being a stay-at-home defenseman in hockey.
I mean,
you just poke check the puck. A common fan doesn't realize that stick check and where his stick is very meaningful. With Zach Ertz, he runs a route. He uses his body well in the best way possible. And he's such a big body, it's so hard to defend. He does the little things.
All right, well, to compare, just a quick comparison here, okay, on the two guys. Numerically, they are very similar. They both played 15 games. Now, Ertz has 135 targets to Goddard's 87. So, you've got...
But I do think there's a reason why he has more targets.
He's on the field more.
Yeah, but you're saying it as...
That's the one big reason.
Right, but I also think that's because that's how good he is at the same time.
He had 50 more targets, but only 30 more catches. He had 88 catches to 58. All right? Now, these are interesting numbers because Ertz had 916 yards to Goddard's 607. So, Ertz averaged 61 yards a game, and Goddard averaged 40 yards a game, and this is why. Goddard averages more yards per catch than Ertz does by not much, 10.5 to 10.4, but that yards per catch, that shows you that they're similar players. And here's another big thing. Goddard, 5 touchdowns, Ertz 6. He has 5 touchdowns on 58 catches. Ertz has 6 on 88. So Goddard's finding his way in the end zone, finding red zone targets, but he's catching the ball, yards per catch. That's the number there that's showing you they're equally as productive. If Goddard had 30 extra catches, map out,
does Zach Ertz open the field more for Dallas Goedert? So take Zach Ertz out of the equation. Now your best player isn't defending Zach Ertz.
I feel like I'm in the spot where I'm kind of criticizing Ertz. I'm not.
Well, it feels like I'm knocking Dallas Goedert, and I don't want to knock Dallas Goedert at all either. I just want to, make a point that maybe Zach Ertz being on the field helps Dallas Goedert because people are now looking at Ertz more than they are him.
By the way, Goddard 6'5", 256. Ertz 6'5", 250. So they're basically the same there. Look, all I'm saying is I would love Ertz to stay, and if they signed him, I'm okay with that. Goddard's 25. He's the younger player. If you gave me a first-round pick, a 5th, a 6th, and a 4th next year for Ertz, I got to take that deal.
Maybe we
because I have Goddard. Yes. Football at 4 is next, and you guys on YouTube will be able to hear it today. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the free mobile app. We do it every day. Football at 4, it's on the other side. And at 5 o'clock tonight, former first-round NFL pick Anthony Becht on the Brady effect in Tampa Bay.
Health Update with Robin Stoloff, brought to you by Jersey Shore Medical Alliance.
Be back in a hot second, guys.
And Linwood.
Are you 45 years or older and putting off colorectal cancer screening? Yeah, I know. It's not at the top of anyone's list of favorite things to do, but it's a test that could save your life. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month and a good time to learn more about your risks and why you should be screened. Colorectal cancer is preventable, and yet it is the second leading cause of cancer-related death in the United States. Experts believe that 40,000 lives could be saved each year by widespread screening and early treatment. The American Cancer Society recommends screening for common cancer starting at age 45 for people in good health at average risk. If detected early, there is a high rate of survival, and Medicare and most insurances cover colonoscopies and other tests. And the prep is much easier than ever before. So talk with your doctor about getting this life-saving test.
Brought to you by Jersey Shore Medical Alliance, Sports Medicine, IV Hydration, and Medical Aesthetics.
Here's Howie Long for Skechers Wide Fit.
Regular shoes feel cramped and uncomfortable, kind of like getting stuck in the middle seat of an airplane.
Excuse me, that's my armrest.
I'm pretty sure that's my armrest. But wide fit shoes from Skechers feel like this.
Mr. Long, you've been upgraded.
That's why I wear Skechers Wide Fit. They've got extra room throughout, plus Skechers exclusive air-cooled memory foam. They're like first class for your feet.
Find Skechers Wide Fit at a Skechers store near you or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
I agree completely.
It's spring. With the Home Depot in your corner, there's never been a better time to be a doer. With new ways to knock more projects off your list. Download our app for new tools like image search. Snap a picture of something, it'll tell you what it is, and our product locator will lead you right to it in the store. Can't make it to the store? We have a truckload of convenient delivery options. From time-saving tools to game-changing innovations. It's a good time to be a doer this spring at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
6 feet away.
US only.
We're live on YouTube as well.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
Great.
Worn out spark plugs? If you've got your refund, now's the perfect time to replace it and extend that engine. You can get a $10 AutoZone gift card by mail or email when you buy 4 or more Bosch Iridium spark plugs. And you don't even have to leave the house to get them. Just order online by 10 p.m. on AutoZone.com and choose next day delivery. Getting your job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Power strip.
Introducing a new podcast, ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Mina Kimes. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily.
It's that white
Go
one.
deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. The best sports story all day, 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week. ESPN Daily. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. Smile and wave. Ooh, somebody got herself a present. Just picked it up at Sprint. The Samsung Galaxy S24
minute, 20 seconds. 1 minute, 20
It's 5G
seconds.
ready. Plus, it has a revolutionary pro-grade camera. I just took video and multiple pictures of you with one tap. Look, that is so cool. Switch to Sprint and you get it for just $0 a month. You're kidding. $0 with an 18-month Sprint Flex lease. And with Sprint's 100% total satisfaction guarantee, you can try out the network and see the savings for yourself. Where are you going? I'm headed over to Sprint.
The next generation of Galaxy has arrived at Sprint, and it's 5G ready. Get the new Galaxy S20 5G smartphone for just $0 a month at Sprint. Visit your local Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1. Phone $0 per month at $41.67 per month. Credit applied into bills requesting one. Service include credit. Cancel early and announced to exclusive satisfactory coverage will be limited to select cities. Sprint.com/Sprint 5G for actual coverage and availability. Guarantee applies to new
I
ones.
told you
30 days.
that.
Exclusions
I
and
didn't
restrictions apply.
realize he was a local guy.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most
I
in
didn't even know it
need
was
with
local. I thought it
help
was
and
97.3
hope.
or national ESPN
Thanks to your
radio.
donations, the Salvation Army is helping
Well,
those
that's
affected
what
by
I'm saying. I don't
COVID-19. Those who've
pay
lost
attention
wages,
too much to it.
who have no home to retreat
Right.
to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit salvationarmyusa.org.
The radio home of the 76ers. 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. 97.3 ESPN presents the Sports Bash with Mike Hill. We're talking Eagles football and all the latest NFL news and notes with 97.3 ESPN Eagles and NFL insider John McMullen on the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles and NFL football. 97.3 ESPN and streaming everywhere at 97.3ESPN.com and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app.
All right, time now for football at 4. It is, of course, our daily look at the NFL and everything happening around the world of NFL free agency and the Philadelphia Eagles, of course, with 97.3 ESPN. Eagles and NFL insider John McMullen, brought to you by Delaware Valley Acura Dealers. This month, visit your local dealer for great deals on the award-winning Acura lineup. So, wow, we got some big Ric Flair music pounding. Remember, we're on location, so everything sounds a little different than it does in the studio. And this is blowing us away right now. But all right, we're back. Remember, by the way, it was raining 10 minutes ago, and now it's like beautiful out.
That's because PT walked in.
Yeah, PT walked in. We got the PT here as well, and he's going to join us in the next segment. But right now, we'll do a little football with Johnny Mac. What's going on, bud?
Hey, how are you guys? Pete Thompson's there.
Yeah,
pretty excited about
well,
that.
we're doing the show from my house. If you weren't quarantined, you'd have to come. We're having beers on the porch. We got basketball going. I mean, this is a great time.
Well, you guys, is there social distancing going on?
We have a tape.
6 feet away.
We have a tape measure here. We are 6 feet away from each other, kind of. Pete Thompson, you are how far from me? 6 feet exactly.
Well, let's go. I mean, you use this side of your body for me, and then I can go on the other side for him. I mean, this is not fair.
So, John, we were just having an interesting conversation. Well, we thought was an interesting conversation. A lot of stuff about Ertz going around. You know, there was these wacky rumors that are just that, rumors. But the whole thing that he didn't accept the deal, which we discussed the other day. But if you were to get the Diggs package for Ertz, would the Eagles consider that deal, or do they feel that Ertz is essential?
You know, it's an interesting question, and a lot of it has to do with Dallas Goedert, obviously, and the fact I kind of mentioned that yesterday on social media. The only reason you kind of get pause is because they have Dallas Goedert. Typically, when the Eagles identify someone and want to extend them, they get it done, but it's always in a team-friendly contract. And Zach is smart enough to understand his value, I think. And that's the reason he didn't agree to an extension when he could have agreed to an extension. So it's not necessarily that the team doesn't want him. In fact, it has nothing to do with that. And it has nothing to do with the fact that Zach doesn't want to play here. So I think much of it is overblown. It's just the natural give and take of negotiation. And you have a player who kind of understands his worth. And if he waits and bets on himself, he's going to get more money. But from the Eagles' perspective, you just brought up an instance. You always have to put that in the back of your mind. Well, if things continue to drag on, you do have another really good tight end. So the second part is, if you would think about trading Zach Ertz, that means you have to get receivers. So if the Eagles ever get receivers and they can play 11 personnel, which is what Doug wants to do anyway, then yeah, they might consider trading Zach Ertz if things continue, again, to drag. But they don't have any receivers. So right now, that's not an option.
That's interesting that you said that, because Hunter and I just got into this drawn-out conversation about whether or not they want to play 12 personnel, or they play 12 personnel because that's the personnel that they've been dealt.
Well, they drafted Dallas Goedert, to be fair, so it wasn't like they were dealt this card. They put themselves in that position to be 12 personnel.
Yeah, I mean, but they don't want to play 12. And when I say they don't want to play 12, they don't want to play as much 12. They play more 12 than anyone else in the NFL. And you can look at the efficacy of when they do. It's not good compared to teams that are high octane and play 11. So the ultimate goal is to have 3 really good wide receivers to be able to play the majority of the time at 11 personnel, but have 2 really good tight ends. So when you are in 12, you're that much more effective. The goal, and Doug Peterson's default, and to be honest, most, not all, but most coaches in this league in the modern era, is to get as many receivers on the field as possible because you're more explosive. So if the Eagles had good receivers, they would be playing more 11 personnel, and that's what Doug would prefer. They just don't have good receivers, so they default to their next best players, and they're better with the 2 tight ends on the field than 3 bad receivers. So that's why they play as much 12 as they do.
Well, sticking with Zach Ertz, he's 29 years old right now. If they were to extend him, what do you think a reasonable number would be per year to keep him here? I mean, he is getting to that probably last contract, big contract of his career. So what do you think the numbers would look like?
Well, the numbers you just saw Austin Hooper sign in Cleveland, it would be north of those numbers. When you have other guys, Kelsey and Kittle, most notably, those are the two that can argue are better than Zach Ertz, and they'd probably be correct. So it's, anytime you talk about contracts in the NFL, I say this all the time, and a lot of people don't understand, it's not about the best player, it's about the timing. It's about when you're up. And if you're a good player at your position, you set the bar. That's how it works. The next guy gets the most money. So ultimately, when he signs this deal, he will expect to be the highest paid tight end in the NFL. That's what he would be shooting for. And a best example of this is at the quarterback position, which moves so fluently. You don't have to go very far back to remember that Derek Carr was the highest paid player in the history of football. Jimmy Garoppolo was the highest paid player in the history of football. Kirk Cousins was the highest paid player in the history of football. The bar keeps getting set as quarterbacks go, and Dak Prescott will likely be next if the Cowboys agree to a long-term deal. Everybody knows none of those guys are the best quarterback, but that's what contracts are about. It's timing and circumstance.
Right. So what do you think the next move is for Howie Roseman?
Well, we're heading into the second wave of free agency now. So now it's about value. Now it's about bargains. Now it's about getting guys who maybe didn't get the market that they were expecting and will come down and play for 1 year prove-it deals. Robbie Anderson is a guy that this team has tried to trade for 2 consecutive years. Fan base thinks he's really good. They're probably wrong, but that's another conversation. But he was expecting to get $12 million a year in free agency. Well, he's not getting $12 million. So the question is, how far down does it come? And if it gets to $7 million, $8 million, then something like that, the Eagles might get involved in. But you can see that at every position. They need a lot. They still need another corner. They still need another safety. You could argue they need multiple bodies at linebacker. They need probably an edge rusher. They need a swing tackle. They need an interior backup on the offensive line. They need a backup quarterback. They need, as I always say, 75 receivers. They need another running back to replace Jordan Howard. Still a lot of moves to be made. A lot of them will come in the draft as well. But there's a lot of bargains the Eagles will be searching for in that second wave of free agents.
John McMullen, Football at 4, 97.3 ESPN.com, and of course at JF McMullen. The one thing too, if they come back, they're going to come back with Ertz and Goddard. I mean, that's almost 95% that Ertz is going to be here. And to be clear to the listeners, there's nobody here that wants Ertz gone. It was just more hypothetical stuff that comes up this time of the year, especially when you're quarantined for, days at a time. Things start to enter your mind. That being said, you mentioned he doesn't want to play 12 personnel. With Ertz and Goddard back again, and even if they end up getting a couple of receivers in the draft and all that kind of stuff, is 12 personnel the way they're going to have to go back if those two guys are back?
Well, again, when I say they don't want to play 12 personnel, what I mean is they don't want to play as much 12 personnel.
Right.
And that will rely drastically on what receivers they get. If they get a receiver in the first round, for instance, and he's effective from day one, which, by the way, is less and less likely since the rumors going around this league is that there's not going to be an off season. there's not going to be any off-season work. So rookies are going to show up in August, hopefully, and they're not going to have that time to ramp up. But in best case scenario, if a first-round pick hits the ground running, if you sign a Robbie Anderson, Brashad Perriman, if Deshaun Jackson is healthy and the third receiver, then, yeah, they're going to play more 11 and less 12. But it all depends on how effective the wide receivers are.
John, how much of this depends on how much of this depends on Deshaun Jackson? Like what their offense looks like next year depends on how much trust that they want to build an offense around Deshaun Jackson's speed.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go into it with that sentiment and that we can build around Deshaun Jackson. I think they're realistic about that. You just can't count on him at this stage. You can't count on him to be healthy. 33 years old as a receiver. I mean, you hope in that situation. And if it works out, great. But you can't plan and say this is our cornerstone. So the Eagles are cognizant of that. And that's why I say if a bunch of things happen and the receivers play at a high level, and then you're where you want to be. If you have another season where Greg Ward is playing a lot and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is struggling and Deshaun Jackson's in and out of the lineup, well, they're going to play the most 12 in the NFL again. But that's not what they want to do.
All right, John McMullen, 97.3 ESPN.com. Let's look at, the week that kind of was here real quick and kind of go back and, because I thought Hargrave got swept under the rug a lot. And I know we touched on him a little bit, but I really feel, how do you see them using him? Is this with Fletcher to give Fletcher a break? Is Malik Jackson going to kind of be that third guy? How do you view the three guys that they currently have? Because I think, John, if a team said, hey, our two interior tackles are Malik Jackson and Javon Hargrave, you got a pretty good interior defense there, and they're part of a three-person thing. So how do you see him adding to the defensive tackle spot, which was a mess last year?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be the starter next to Fletcher Cox, and it's interesting for a number of reasons. I mean, you just talked about all of us in self-quarantine in the off-season and things go through your mind, and you think about this. The Eagles have talked about for years, really, especially coming off Chip Kelly and how many snaps the defense would play just because of the way he went about it and how they would get worn down. So you look at a player like Fletcher Cox, who's been an all-pro in the past, and they've been talking for years about you got to sort of cut down his workload to extend his prime as much as possible. And that's like something you say in March. We're sitting here in late March now, and you say, yeah, on paper that sounds great. But then you get to a game and you say, hey, these are NFL games. And how many come down to the fourth quarter? How many are one-score games? And, it's tough to be disciplined and take Fletcher Cox off the field and say, I want to rotate, I want to save him. And that's what happens every year. The Eagles go, well, no, we need Fletcher on the field to win these games. Now, the theory is, as you mentioned, you have Hargrave and Jackson now, so you have two high-level defensive tackles, although you have to kind of wait and see how healthy is Malik. And then the conversation becomes, if you're not giving legitimate reps, Malik is an eight-figure player. Hargrave's an eight-figure player. You're talking about situational guys playing 25 snaps,
right?
Making $10 million a year. That's tough to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I still think we have to see how that shakes out. and some have speculated we'll kick Malik Jackson outside. I can tell you, he has told me flat out to my face he does not like to play defensive end.
Did he give a reason?
And he doesn't like it. I mean, he's not comfortable doing it.
Okay, fair enough.
And then let's say, you know, Jim Schwartz is a hard-nosed guy. It's not like somebody will say, "Oh, I don't want to do this." If he thinks that's the best way to win, he's going to do it. But then you're taking Brandon Graham off the field or Derek Barnett. Now, obviously, you're not taking Brandon off the field. So that means you're taking Derek Barnett off the field, which people could say fine, but that's a former first-round pick. He may have not lived up to the expectations of some people to this point, but I got to tell you, he's a heck of a lot better edge rusher than Malik Jackson, who doesn't do it and doesn't like doing it. So I don't know how that's going to work out, and I don't think necessarily it's going to work out in a good way. But what I can tell you is Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave are going to be the starting defensive tackles, and those two guys are going to play well.
Very interesting conversation right there with John. Good stuff, Johnny Mac. Let's go to the corners, which we touched on, obviously, with Slay. We all like that deal. The other side, you mentioned it yesterday, Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas will probably be battling it out there, but they'll probably bring another guy in to compete with them. How do you see Jalen Mills' role now? Is he in the corner? Is he playing safety exclusively? Do they, I've kind of mentioned that, hey, maybe Jim Schwartz looks at him as his new Malcolm Jenkins. How are you viewing the new Jalen Mills?
Well, I think he's going to get an opportunity to play safety. I don't think it's much more than that. I mean, if you look at his contract, the Eagles essentially gave him 1 year and guaranteed him $2 million. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. There's no question Jim likes him, Jim trusts him, Jim values him more than just about anybody else in this league. But the Eagles have acknowledged he's speed deficient on the outside. They realize that. So they made the move inside. They are trying to, in some ways, copy what happened with Malcolm earlier in his career because he was drafted as a corner and moved to safety and obviously took off and excelled for a very long time. I think if people think that's automatically going to happen, I wouldn't count on that. But he'll be given an opportunity. But that's another position. I don't think the Eagles are saying, okay, we're going to pencil in Jalen Mills as our starting strong safety to replace Malcolm Jenkins. He'll compete for that job. But they're going to bring in someone else at some point, whether it's as a free agent or somebody in the draft.
Do you see a scenario then where Mills doesn't have a role? That's where I'm having a hard time with him just being the deal. The 1 year $5 million is kind of interesting, and that he's going to get a chance to play safety. But if they bring someone else in and beat him out, and I find it hard that Schwartz is going to be left with him having no role.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe as well because he likes him. But he could easily move to being a backup corner again. He can do a lot of different things. He does have versatility. He can play inside. He can play outside at the corner position. Now the Eagles have earmarked him as a safety. So he might be that Swiss utility knife if they bring in a more high-profile safety next to Rodney McLeod. You've seen over the years, especially over the past couple of years, hey, you need bodies in the defensive backfield because guys go down at an alarming rate. And you look at the other corner spot opposite Darius Slay. Look, you can't count on Rasul Douglas to play at a high level. You can't count on Sidney Jones to play at a high level. So, I mean, again, we've talked about I just talked about it with Fletcher and Javon and Malik Jackson. You can pencil things in and I'll bring up Chip Kelly again. You pencil it in, you write it in the beach, you write it in sand at this time of year. I mean, who's to say they get a better safety, and all of a sudden you could say, hey, Jalen is better than Rasul Sidney. We're not able to get another corner. Let's move him over there.
Yeah.
That could happen. Just because you say you want to move someone to safety in March doesn't mean you're locked in. You're not saying this stuff under oath.
Yeah.
You can change your mind at any point.
Mills did play safety in college for his couple years, not his entire college career. Do you think that Mills would actually be a better NFL safety than he was a corner? Which he was not a bad corner. Let's not say that this guy was terrible. It just, he was a good, not great corner. But do you think that his skill set would lend him to be a better safety?
Well, I will say this. A lot of people have thought that he would project better than at safety because of the lack of speed. Generally, that's what happens. If you're not really fast, and people have said about Rasul Douglas as well for years, that he would be better at safety. I can say up until this point, the Eagles have not considered moving Jalen Mills to safety. The question has been asked. The question has been asked to Jim Schwartz on multiple occasions. The question has been asked to Jalen himself. Before this move in the offseason, before this re-signing, Jalen was on record saying, no, I'm not moving to safety. Jim was on record, no, I'm not moving him to safety. So clearly something shifted in the Eagles' thinking, and I think all of these dominoes come from the Malcolm Jenkins decision. Because I said this, I think if Malcolm is here, I think Rodney isn't. And I think Jalen's probably still a corner. Clearly, Jalen Mills didn't get the market that he expected in unrestricted free agency. The Eagles couldn't work things out with Malcolm, so they said, you know what? You're a burgeoning leader. Let's see if we can make things work with you. You're a little speed deficient, as I said. Let's try to move you back to safety, and we'll see what happens. And then from Rodney McLeod's standpoint, they needed that continuity, and he's expected to be the new leader in the secondary. He's expected to take over Malcolm's role, be the guy who's the voice and get everybody lined up correctly.
John McMullen, Football at 4. We do it every day at this time on the Sports Bash at JF McMullen. For the NFL, and of course the NFL All-Season Phase 2 will be continuing. We'll be all over it next week here on the Sports Bash. Thanks, pal.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, John McMullen, like all guests, appeared via the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. When we come back, we've got a guest right on the porch with us here. Pete Thompson, host of the Pete Thompson Show, is on the porch, as we call it here on the Sports Bash now. He's on the porch. We got like a basketball game going on over there. My neighbor's out. His daughter's running around. I mean, we've got all sorts of action happening here. But when we come back, we'll bring the PT in to the conversation. And we got a lot more to do. Sports Bash plus Anthony Beck tonight, former NFL first-round pick at tight end. We can ask him about 12 personnel. He'll join us tonight at 5 here on the Sports Bash.
Tonight, Westwood One presents great games in NCAA tournament history. The 2018 first-round matchup between UMBC and Virginia. The first and only time a 16 team defeat the number 1. Hey, how are you, folks? This is Jason Edwards from Westwood One. Join me as we listen back to the full game broadcast and hear from some of the players.
What's up, Pete?
How much, buddy? How you doing?
Madness moment.
Doing all right?
Exclusively on 97.3.
It sounds like these mics are a lot less sensitive than the access.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
PT beat everybody to the punch with his list.
I was in
March
school
Mania
mode
at
still,
Boardwalk
cranking
Honda.
out
Stop in and get
You know, I
slam
was like,
dunk deals on over 1,000 vehicles. Looking for new, pre-owned, or certified pre-owned Hondas? We're sure to have a vehicle priced for your lifestyle and budget. Shop our entire lineup with your favorite models like the CRV, Civic, Pilot, Accord, and more. We have it all from store to shore. Plus, we work with every credit situation. Boardwalk Honda partners with over 25 top financial lenders, so we'll help get you approved and in a new Honda in no time. And don't miss out on special savings during the Honda Dream Garage Spring Event. There has never been a better time to save. Drive home the new Honda you want at the price you want. Visit us in Egg Harbor Township.
Yeah, I thought it was
or shop
college.
our
As soon as you
entire
said the name, my first
inventory
initial
online
reaction
at
was college draft.
boardwalkhonda.com. And remember, from Maine to Miami, nobody beats a boardwalk deal.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't think that. But it is funny.
Mark Green.
Every time someone's trending, the first thing you think of is this guy. Yeah, yeah. But I was thinking, yes, Corona. But normally it's died before this whole situation.
But I am now. And with the 2020 census, my response will inform funding for things like healthcare, public transit, and all types of things to make 65 feel like the new 40. Yeah, okay, maybe the new 50.
Shape your future. Start here. Complete the census at 2020census.gov.
Yeah, but
paid for by U.S. Census Bureau.
My son was playing in the finals, which I hated to miss, but I had a big deadline at work. Thanks to Total Wireless, my husband streamed the game to me over the nation's best network.
Yep, I'm cameraman.
As if
It
once
was
August
awesome.
is
Except
back,
for
it
outside
doesn't
my arms
matter
cut.
anymore. It's still
Aw,
cut.
thanks, babe.
No, that hopefully
You got
once-
this with Total Wireless. Get an unlimited plan for $25 a month.
Right,
no
yeah,
contract.
okay.
With a gig of high-speed data than 2G on the nation's best 4G LTE network. Total Wireless. Total confidence. Available at Target. See terms and conditions at TotalWireless.com.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Got an oil change on your list and a little extra cash in your pocket? We have the deals today.
2 minutes.
5 quarts of STP conventional motor oil, an STP oil filter, and an STP air filter
Yeah,
for just
sorry for our
$26.99.
stream setup.
You don't
Gotta
even
keep
have to leave
jumping
the house
around.
to get it. Just order online by 10 p.m. on AutoZone.com and choose next day delivery. Getting your job done just got easy. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Posting your
Saved
job
by the
opening
Bell.
to an online job search site is
Nah,
like
they had the bigger
drinking
ones
from
that
a
say about
fire
that.
hose.
Yeah, they had the
You get more
legit
resumes than you know what to do with.
with.
Robert Half is the better way to hire. Our candidates are interviewed and custom matched to your exact hiring requirements. Quickly, satisfaction guaranteed. So what you need is just what you'll get. Robert Half, the experts in accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, and administrative staffing. Learn more at roberthalf.com/radio.
I've actually been.
The great thing about facts,
Like I've been
they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities. Or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities.
Why,
man? Pennzoil is the
You
first
look like
synthetic
JR
motor oil made
a little
from
bit.
natural gas, not
Look
crude
like
oil.
Jeremy Roenick a little
It
bit.
gives you unbeatable
at
engine
that.
protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on sequence 4A wear test of SAE W30. Find it at Firestone Complete Auto Care.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us
You put
settle
it up,
that debt
right.
for
Oh,
a
what?
fraction of what you owe.
97.3?
For free information,
I didn't see
call
it.
Credit Associates
Okay.
now. 1-800-500-8980.
There he is.
We'll even show you
Oh,
how
we
much
could
money
keep it
you
the
can
other one.
save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever
15
thought
seconds,
possible,
gents.
without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-500-8980. That's 1-800-500-8980. 1-800-500-8980.
Anytime you hear this song, you have to think of the PT. Do you know this song, Hunter Brody? I know of it, but I don't know why it relates to Pete Thompson. Well, it's in his bracket. Oh, that's number one.
That'd be one.
Okay. But Pete Thompson and I went to the Who show at Boardwalk
Of course,
Hall.
we saw him. It was the two. Now, you missed this during the break. Hang on, I got to make a call.
Look at that thing. Look at that thing. We could use that to stream the show. Yeah, okay.
I brought this for Hunter. Like, I was digging through some boxes at home the other night, and I saw this, and this is like, this was the last, it's a Motorola DPC here. Why don't you put it on the YouTube stream? That's a Motorola DPC 550. I'm sure there are people out there that had that. That was the #1 selling cell phone at the time.
Yeah.
You know, that's this is post Michael Douglas with the big brick.
Yeah, I was thinking Saved by the
that's
Bell
after that,
instantly, you know?
But yeah, this was a hot to trot phone. And, MG,
Please pass Exhibit B down the table to the...
A lot of touching going on here.
Yeah, it is. I'm getting a little nervous, to be honest with you.
I mean, come on.
I
didn't cough on it.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that.
It was in a box.
Well, I'm holding it anyway at this point, so. Look at these pictures.
Look at these visuals.
I know.
We're on radio here, you know.
Well, yeah.
I get it. You'll start talking about them. I teed them up so you can react to them.
There was a nice photo of Pete Thompson about...
Not the photos. Tee up the phone. God, what am I going to do with you?
He's Pete Thompson, host of the Pete Thompson Show
on
97.3 ESPN, Saturday mornings from 8 to 10, which unfortunately, due to what's happening in the world, we're not allowed in the studios. We're doing the show from my house. The Pete Thompson Show, unfortunately, will be going on hiatus.
Hiatus is the word. That is the key word. You know, there's so much information flying around right now. The thing that I want people to remember is it's hiatus. It's not cancellation.
No, in fact, I had to be the bearer of the news that, hey, Pete Thompson, we're going to have to put the show on hiatus because we're not allowed in the building. You know, non-essential personnel.
Yeah, it's hard to hear that you're not essential.
I'm not essential, apparently. I'm at my house. No.
Whoa. You said you got an essential card so you can start driving around during the apocalypse.
Essential.
Yeah, I used to have that card.
The problem is you're not essential and you're not essential. And to make the Pete Thompson Show work, you two you're the producer of his show, and neither one of you are allowed in the building.
Yeah, that's pretty hard. Right? Hunter on the other side of the glass, you're not essential.
Well,
Pete
you
Thompson,
can just
you're not essential.
leave this out for us, and we'll come stop by. You can sleep
you
in the
want
morning.
to do it at my house every
sure,
weekend?
why not?
Yeah.
You know
I'm
what
sure
I mean?
my girlfriend would love that.
Yeah, 8 a.m.
in the morning, breakfast with the PT.
That's true.
Why not?
Boy, the commute would be super fast. It's already quick anyway, as it is, to get from Galloway in.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you know, I had
just a little hiatus.
Yes, that's the hope that
I mean, so of course
everything will be back to normal.
I inform the regulars because, you know, when you get news like this, you want to tell the folks before they just hear it on the radio. And I informed Mike McGarry and Dave Weinberg and Kevin Minnick, you know, the three horses, the three horsemen, if you will, that we were going to go on a little hiatus for a while. And Dave wrote back immediately and said, like, oh, but I really wanted to talk about, you know, the ShopRite LPGA Classic when it comes up. I mean,
we hope that's going to be here.
That's exactly my thought. I thought, like, we have no idea if that's going to happen or not. You know,
we had Dave on the show, and look, you know, we'll still do our Tuesday with Thompson and probably add some more PT segments because the show is no longer going to be there for the foreseeable future. But unfortunately, in the times that we're in, I mean, it's rough, and you know, unless there's some major advertisers who want to step up and keep us floating some things here, we're going to have to work around some things, and unfortunately. The news that we have to break is that the Pete Thompson Show is going on hiatus.
So optimistically, we're thinking like August. And by August, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been telling people, hopefully, when next year's football teams for the area high school football teams are getting together to start quote-unquote training camp 2-a-days, whatever you want to call it, when they're getting together that last week or second to last week of August, you'll be ringing me up on the bat phone, the PT phone, the little red phone
right there.
It is this phone right here. Would you like the number? You got to take a picture of this and put it on the account so people can see this dinosaur.
Whose was that?
This was mine. This was my phone. And look, the slim battery that's on the back here was the high tech. I mean, that was, you know, normally the battery was like curved and it was a big brick, but I mean, this was cutting edge.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. So
these kids have no idea how good they are.
Well, you know,
I'm only live streaming on YouTube on mine. I mean,
yeah, right.
I mean, but it was novel. Gil, do you remember the first cell phone call you ever made?
Yes.
Where was it?
I was in my car, driving down New Road in Linwood, right by Central Avenue.
Okay.
And I remember making the call. I don't remember who I called.
Right. I remember calling a girl about a date.
Wow.
I called her at work from like
on your phone?
On the phone, from the 16th green at Eagle Lodge. And I was like, you'll never guess where I'm calling you from. And of course, I'm talking as loud as I'm talking right now. And people on the next screen over were giving me the, you know, number 11 salute because they're like, dude, be quiet. We're putting over here. And I'm just, I mean, back then, you know, nowadays, if you go play a round of golf, there is inevitably going to be some a-hole in your group that has to be on his phone.
Or
the
three.
Phone makes noise.
Or three.
You know, put the thing away. That's the whole point of golf. Spend 4.5 hours without having a phone. But I remember that. And I remember being at the Phillies NLCS against Atlanta, 93. And that was the first time I'd ever stayed in a hotel room that had a phone in the crapper. And so I had to call somebody. Like, it was like $9 a minute, and I didn't care. I had to call somebody from the throne.
Well, let's get back to the date thing. Did you get the date?
Oh, yeah. Very
okay.
much so.
And where did you go?
Oh, my gosh. Now we're really...
Okay.
The details are fuzzy. I just remember it was a girl that I thought would be impressed that I was calling her from the 16th green. And actually, MG will pick up on this. Why was I calling her, Mike? To tell her that the original time that we had agreed to meet at the restaurant and then we were going to go see the movie, dinner and a movie, that's the typical date move for the PT back in the day, right? The first thing was to call her from the 16th green and say, hey, I mismanaged my time here. I'm not going to be...
Wow.
We're going to have to go to the later
You're
movie.
late.
Well, okay. Yeah. Wow.
Shocking, right?
No, not a surprise.
Right.
How many times were you at the Pete Thompson show there ready to go and wondering if
now
the
this
PT...
answer is going to surprise you.
He is there before me.
Really?
Yeah, and I get there pretty much, I would say, in between 7:30, 7:40 for the 8 o'clock show.
In the beginning.
So half hour.
He's there?
He's there.
I feel like I'm quoting the Bible, but in the beginning, the very first show that had Ricky Batalico, Brian Boucher, Mark Jackson, Kevin Nagandi, or at least the first one that I made a rundown for. Probably week 1 I had organized chaos. Remember Lou from Ocean City called in?
Yep, Lou from
That was
Ocean
hilarious.
City.
That was Lou Nolan. But yes, in the
I
beginning.
texted him on Facebook. I said, Lou from Ocean City's on line 1. So he's ready for it.
That's
and then
funny.
I didn't put it together.
And I said, Lou, we just got a couple minutes for your call. And he says, hey, Pete, it's Lou Nolan. I'm listening to your show.
Now, am I wrong that Lou Nolan was on a little bit of a break?
He was.
He had a little hiatus himself. Yes, he had some.
So I don't feel as bad. If Lou Nolan can take a hiatus from the Flyers, then the Pete Thompson show could go on hiatus. But have you ever?
Dan Baker,
I can't even
Dan
imagine
Baker
a
was
Flyers
off for a
game
while.
without Lou Nolan. Though
I said the same thing. I was watching on TV, and it didn't even feel right
Who
when they
was
were
filling in?
Okay, I know the answer to that. I'm so glad I'm here because this would be normally where I'd be in my car and I'd be screaming at the radio. It was a man named Keith Jones. But how many GD Keith Joneses are there in this world? There is Keith Jones, the hockey announcer, who's hilarious, right? Then there's Keith Jones, the guy that's the NBC 10 anchor, went to Villanova, came down and checked out TV40 with me one time way back in the day, knew the girl from SNJ. All right, that's who I thought it was. Well, apparently there's a third Keith Jones who's like the Parks racetrack announcer in Ben Salem, and down the stretch, and that was the guy that was filling in. It was that Keith Jones. How many Keith Joneses? I mean, when it said Keith Jones, I think Sam Carcini tweeted it out, and I wrote back like, Keith Jones, I mean, it's obviously not the